Ready to roll? Thank you. Good morning. In accordance with sections 45 and 53 of the Planning Act 1990 as amended, this meeting of the Committee of Adjustment of the City of Toronto is called to order. My name is Zahir Bryant and I'll be chairing today's session. Panel members today are Ryan Bissonnette, Ian Chan, and Paul Gogan, and the Deputy Secretary Treasurer Sabrina Salatino. We acknowledge the land we are meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. Committee of Adjustment public hearings are now conducted in a hybrid in-person and virtual format. Some applicants and participants will make their submissions in person, and others will participate virtually by electronic means through WebEx. The meetings are also streamed on the Toronto City Planning YouTube channel, and anyone wishing to view the hearing may watch on YouTube. Those who want to participate virtually and have registered in advance will be connecting with their computer or telephone and have the option of participating via video or audio only. When your item is called, you will be unmuted by the moderator. For both in-person and virtual participants, Committee of Adjustment staff will share presentations submitted in accordance with the written submission deadline. People attending in person today who want to receive a copy of the decision of the committee on an application must fill out a decision request card, and those participating virtually need to submit a written request for a decision by email. If you do not agree with the decision of the committee, you may be able to appeal the decision to the Toronto Local Appeal Board, or in some limited circumstances to the Ontario Land Tribunal. However, the provincial government amended the Planning Act and generally removed rights of third parties to appeal Committee of Adjustment decisions. Only the applicant, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, specified persons and public bodies are permitted to appeal decisions of the Committee of Adjustment. Appeal instructions are set out at the bottom of the decision of the committee. Today, I will call each item in the order listed on the agenda. When an application is uncontested, the agent or applicant may proceed with their presentation if desired. When the committee does not require presentation, applicants are to advise the chair should they wish to speak to the committee. The committee may ask questions and or take the matter into committee for a decision. Each speaker, including the applicant, will be given a maximum of 5 minutes to address the committee. I will comment when you are reaching the 5 minutes. Any presentation or other materials you wish to submit to the committee must have been emailed in advance of the hearing. Staff and committee members cannot accept materials at the hearing. When addressing the committee, please clearly state your name and address. Please remember to confine your remarks to the matters outlined in the application. The applicant or agent will proceed first and will make a presentation to the committee on the application. Then, individuals either in support or opposed to the application will be invited to speak. Generally, we first call on speakers in the hearing room and then those participating through WebEx. Committee members may ask questions of each speaker after they have finished their presentation. When all speakers are finished, the applicant or agent has an opportunity to rebut only those issues that were raised by the speakers. This will mark the end of the discussion. The application will then be taken into committee for a decision. Madam Deputy Secretary Treasurer, are there any minutes of the last meeting to be adopted?
Good morning, Mr. Chair and panel members. Yes, the August 27th as well as the September 3rd hearings.
September 3rd. Okay. And we have a motion to approve? Thank you. Ms. Chan moves the motion, seconded by Mr. Gogan. Thank you. All those in favor? Motion to adopt the minutes have been accepted. And are there any declarations of interest of panel or staff members in this time slot? No. Nope. I see none. Thank you. Madam Deputy Treasurer, are there any deferral requests for this morning?
Sorry, through you, Mr. Chair, yes. We do have one deferral request. It is item number 2. Municipal address 101 Glenrose Avenue, file number A0433/25TEY. We do have the agent online, so we can deal with this at this time.
Okay. And before we move on, are there any files to be closed?
Through you, Mr. Chair, see none for this morning.
Thank you. Okay. So moving on to item number 1. Sorry, it's item number 2 you mentioned, in GlenRose. I'll just read the purpose of the application for the record. Purpose of the application is to permit the existing front porch with stairs, the front driveway with hard landscaping surface, and 2 vehicular parking spaces in the rear third-story balcony of the existing 3-story detached dwelling, which were constructed beyond the limits of an authorized building permit. Also, the existing rear 1-story ancillary building, semi-detached garage will be maintained and unaltered. And the committee had before it copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 8 photographs of trees on the subject property received May the 1st, 2025, and a deferral request from Mr. Benkowski, agent, received September 10th, 2025, order to comply affecting the subject property. We also had staff reports from urban forestry and community planning, and we've had 5 form letters in support signed by owners and occupants of 99 Glenrose, 97, 103, 130, and 134 Glenrose Avenue. Okay. And if we can go to the agent, please.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have the agent online to speak.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Benkowski.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning, committee.
Good morning. I wonder if you could just have your name and address, please.
Yes, Jonathan Benskowski, 301 Keewatin Avenue.
Thank you. I believe you're requesting a deferral. Could you just give a brief outline as to why you need it?
Yeah, absolutely. There's been a little bit of confusion with what the proposal actually is, and we'd like to just tighten a couple of the things where some work was done on the city boulevard that we'd like to at least get a handle on before we come back, as well as make some minor revisions to the front yard landscaping to improve the current condition.
Thank you. From what I can see, we don't have anybody in opposition, so I will take it into committee for a decision. Bear with me a moment. So,
Thank you,
colleagues,
sir.
thank you. We have a motion to approve the deferral from, sorry, I've got papers here, from Mr. Gogan. Thank you.
Yeah.
And seconded by,
Yeah, I will
Jen?
second it, except that I'd like to also ask one question.
certainly.
Is that we received comment from urban forestry and also the community planning that the report, the staff report recommending refusal of variance 3, 4, and 6. My question is, are you going to work with those people on these issues for the next time we meet again? Yeah.
Mr. Benkowski, do you hear the question?
Yes, I did. Sorry, I was muted and speaking.
Oh, sorry.
Through you, Mr. Chair. Ms. Chan, yes, I have already spoken with community planning, who will essentially piggyback on the comments of forestry.
Okay.
Again, there's some confusion as per the intent of what is happening in the front yard.
Oh, okay.
This is entirely related to safe access to the property because of where it's located at the corner, essentially, of Mount Pleasant and Glenrose. I don't want to get into too much of the justification at this time, Ms. Chan, but yes, I have
exactly.
spoken
I
with
know.
planning,
Yeah, I
and we
know.
will be working with them.
Yeah, I know, we are not going to go into detail, but I just thought that because they
Yes.
very specific recommendation, I just think that maybe next time you come back, this will be resolved, that you make it easy. for us, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
Through
Chan.
you, Mr. Chair, Ms. Chan, that is 100% the intent to have this resolved by the time we come back.
That's my question. Good to hear that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we have a motion to approve the request for deferral from Mr. Hogan, seconded by Ms. Chan. All
Yeah.
those in favor? You have your deferral, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to item number 1. Oops, where did I put my item number 1? Okay, moving on to item number 1. Item number 1 is 569, 571, and 573 Christie Street. The purpose of the application is to alter the development standards for a 12-unit stacked townhouse development, which is currently being proposed for a new 3-story apartment building with an underground parking garage level, a rear exterior basement, underground garage staircase with railings, ground level staircases and walkways on all sides of the building, rooftop terraces accessed by staircase enclosures with green roofs, as well as increasing the maximum gross floor area, reducing the required landscape areas, number of visitor and accessible vehicle parking spaces, and the number of dwelling types, 3 or more bedrooms reduced to 2 bedrooms. This is currently being reviewed under site plan control, pardon me, file number 2021-24-5328 STE 12SA. There will be a total of 16 residential dwelling units on this lot. Okay. And the committee had before it copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, a covering letter from the agent, arborist report and tree preservation plan, site-specific zoning bylaw affecting the subject property, planning letter from the agent, presentation materials from the agent, traffic letter from the agent, and we also have commenting agency reports, email correspondence from Transportation Engineering Coordinator, and we have correspondence in concern from no address received from Logan Copen, and we have opposition correspondence from 557 Christie Street. Okay.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have the agent online and numerous speakers, both in person and online.
Thank you. Mr. Chan, good morning. Are you there?
Good morning, Mr. Chair, committee members, and staff. My name is Christian Chan. I'm the agent and planner for the applicant. My address is 157 Adelaide Street, West Toronto, Ontario.
Thank you. Good morning. We do have a couple of folks in opposition to this, or one person in opposition and one in interest. So I wonder if we could please have a presentation from you.
Absolutely, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
So as you've mentioned, yes, this application or this development has been previously subject of a zoning amendment that was adopted by City Council on July 19th, 2023 through Bylaw 1104/2023. As you mentioned, also the proposal is currently subject to site plan approval review, which is currently under review by staff. So this minor variance application is concurrent with that. The proposed increase in the number of units in the building to 16 was discussed with community planning late last year, as well as the fact the building envelope itself will not be altered from what was approved in the zoning diagrams. This is including with the revised and increased number of dwelling units in the building from 12 to 16, comprising of 12 2-bedroom units and 4 3-bedroom units. The parking ratio is proposed to remain the same. So the original proposal had 12 spaces. Now it has 16 for a 1-to-1 ratio. Also included in this reiteration of the proposal is bicycle parking spaces and bicycle maintenance facilities that were not originally proposed with the original zoning bylaw amendment because they were not required as part of a townhouse. Many of the variances that are sought before you are related to the change in classification from the building from a townhouse development to an apartment building, despite that no exterior alterations to the approved zoning envelope, such as height, coverage, setbacks, landscaping, walkways, parking, and stairs are proposed. If I could just go into the variances. So if I can ask staff to put up page 3 of the document of the PDF document before you. Yes, that's it. I'm going to go into the floor space index variance number 5. There's no actual change to the buildable gross floor area from the originally approved GFA. The calculation of GFA is increased as the building is no longer viewed as a townhouse building, rather a stacked townhouse, which is a form of apartment building in the zoning bylaw. Therefore, those yellow areas that you see in your screen of the floor areas at the basement level that don't comprise bike parking, bike maintenance and storage, and car parking spaces are now counted towards GFA in the apartment building. Despite the numerical increase in GFA and density, the building's massing and building's envelope remains unchanged, and the usable interior habitable areas also remains unchanged. With respect to the landscaping variances, there are no changes to the proposed landscaping that were previously approved. However, as the proposal is now classified as an apartment building, there's a different metric to calculate soft landscaping being 50% of the lot and soft landscaping being 50% of the required landscaping, whereas previously it was just the front and rear yards that were calculated for landscaping requirements. For variances 10 and 11 with regards to parking, the apartment building's classification triggers the requirement for visitor and accessible parking requirements, as the parking configuration has not changed in terms of the supply. There's a 1-to-1 ratio of a resident parking spaces per unit, and in recognition of the increase in the units, bike parking spaces are provided, as well as a bike maintenance facility that was not proposed in the original application but is now proposed. With respect to the encroachment variances number 3 and 4, if I can ask staff to go to the previous page in the presentation. And just to explain, if you can zoom into the annotations, the stair and railing encroachment variances are required as they weren't originally captured in the site-specific zoning amendment. These variances serve to rectify those areas of non-compliance that weren't captured in the site-specific bylaw. An example of those items of the encroachment is the rear yard setback of the structure of the rear basement parkade exit and the protective railings, because they project to the rear yard setback, but those were on the original plans that were before council to approve. With respect to variances number 1 and 2, the stair guardrail heights, if I can ask the staff to turn over to the elevation plan in this package. This more clearly states it. The next page, or the previous page, I believe. Yes, if you could zoom in there. So the stair height is the height of the stairs above established grade, and in this case, the established grade is deeper than the actual grade of the site. So the stair height projection is in fact about 24 centimeters above the actual ground, and the stair railing height variance is also reflective of this too. It's about 1.2 meters above ground, whereas it's about 2.12 meters above the established grade line that you can see on your screen.
Mr. Chan, could you just wrap up? We're running out of time.
Yes, I just have one more variance to go through with respect to variance number 6. You can see on these pages in the orange yellow section where the new 2-bedroom units are proposed. Those would be those units that are central to the development, and they are proposed as rental units. So the building will be a mixed tenure between the market units on the corners and the 2-bedroom units as rentals central to the development. And just one more point, I've had productive discussions with Mr. Logan Copen on addressing his concerns for privacy, and we have come to an agreement to add 1.8 meter opaque privacy screens on the east side of the entrance landings, and I can go into that in further detail after the other interested parties make their submissions.
That's fine. Thank you so very much. Let me just see if my colleagues have any questions for you at this point. If not, we'll,
Do we wait, or so we have?
we can either wait or move on to the folks in
Or maybe we
interest
listen
first.
to the other folks too,
Yeah,
because
okay.
my question is, maybe, yeah.
You want to hold off. So
Yeah.
we'll hold off questions from the panel and move to the folks that have, are going to be calling in, I believe.
Through
Thank
you,
you.
Mr. Chair, we do have 2 people here in person that wish to speak to this application, and then we'll go to our virtual speakers. So I'll ask each individual to come up one by one to the podium.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. I wonder if we could just start with your name and address, please.
Lyndon Toole,
Sorry. Good.
Lyndon Toole, 557 Christie Street.
Thank you. You have 5 minutes to present, and the agent will then be able to provide responses to your concerns.
My concerns, our concerns have been addressed in a letter sent to the committee, but I'll just talk about our major concern, which is the lack of parking spaces. There's already a problem with parking in the area. I think when you're building 16 units, first of all, we're concerned that there was the increase without the community being notified. But when there are 16 units and 16 parking spaces being provided, a number of those units will have 2 cars and will require street parking. Their visitors will require street parking. There's no handicapped accessible parking. The city has already eliminated 3 parking spaces on the street with respect to at least one for the increase in bicycle lanes. 2 spaces have been eliminated to put in electrical vehicle charging stations. And so, we have Witchwood Barns just immediately north of the proposed development. On Saturday mornings, there is a farmer's market, and there is absolutely no parking in the area. There are events held at the barns, and again, parking problems. We're just very concerned about the lack of parking in the area and the lack of parking proposed for the development. In addition to which, I believe there should have been some community consultation, and there wasn't any at all.
Okay. Anything else that you'd like the agent to respond to?
I think those are our concerns.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. We'll move on to the next person, and thank you. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
My name is Jillian Booth. I live at 580 Christie, Unit 911, and I just want to raise, it's less a question and more just concerns, and one of them being light pollution. We've worked really hard in the area to minimize light pollution. We've in coordination across the street at the Witchwood Barns. They have a greenhouse, and they've limited their light for consideration of a new concern that I don't think people realize is as harmful as it is, and the city ought to be doing more about light pollution, I do believe, because it is not healthy. It's bad for people. It's cancer causing and ruins circadian rhythms. And I just want to know what your intentions will be as a construction site in terms of minimizing those problems that I see lit up like all around the city, terrible bright lights. So those are my concerns. Also, I want to reiterate that there has been very little communication with the public. I never saw the first iteration meeting, the first iteration that you had for this unit. I never saw a public meeting hearing posted. This one came up. I had very few days to respond. I didn't even have time to get any of my comments to you. And I just feel that there's, by the sign of what's behind me, there's not enough public people aware. So I think the timelines were very tight, and I don't appreciate that. But I do appreciate that units need to be built, and we need housing and more, yes, but I just want to make sure that you can consider the impact it will have on the environment, and that's about it. I'll stop there.
Thank you very much.
I have a question.
Ms. Chan has a question
I
for
have
you.
a quick question to you. Are you aware of that? I think it's the Property Standard Committee of the city. I think they deal with light pollution in terms of different property, even a signage. If it's too bright, you can call 311 and ask to connect. But there's a specific unit will take complaints about the
Okay,
the
so,
lighting.
well, yeah, so call 311.
Everyone they will connect to the proper department. Yeah, but
Right.
that is policy
Okay,
governing.
okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Chan. Thank you very much. We have a couple of folks online.
Should I?
Yes, by all means, thank you.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have roughly 2 online speakers. We'll start off with the speaker from 580 Christie Street.
Thank you. Good morning. Hello. Good morning.
Yes, I'm I'm from 580 Christie Street as well. I'm Tim Watson. I don't see myself on the.
Sorry, Mr. Watson. Can
Yes.
you just state your name and your address for the record, please?
Yes, my name is Tim Watson, and I'm also at 580 Christie Street, and I'm in Unit 207. I don't see my my picture up on the board. It disappeared.
Oh.
I'm not familiar. I'm not familiar.
It was there before. Yeah,
Oh,
I saw him.
All right, thank you. Okay, I'm really representing Local Enhancement Appreciation of Forests. It's a nonprofit organization that operates a demonstration garden immediately to the north of the proposed development. Essentially, what this means is the development means is that the garden, which has been in existence since 2010, virtually when the Witchwood Barns was developed, will now be cast into deep shade, and that will require a fair bit of replanting of trees and shrubs. So that's my concern.
anything else? Or would that
No, there's
primarily
no,
it?
that's it.
Okay.
There was no consultation at all with Leaf at all by the developers. So I'm disappointed with that. Thank you
All right.
very much.
Thank you. Just hold on a second. Let me just see if any of my colleagues have any questions for you. Seeing none, we'll let the agent give you some feedback. Thank you. We'll move on to the next speaker.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have an online speaker from 16 Slade Avenue.
Thank you. Logan Copen, are you there?
My name's Logan Copen at 16 Slade Avenue.
Terrific. Welcome. Thank you very much for being here. I wonder if you might give us some feedback, your concerns, and we'll have the agent give you a response.
Sure. I've been in contact with the agent on a number of the concerns, and from those discussions, although it was a bit rushed due to the timeline, we have come to a couple of agreements where they have committed to doing a few things. There being about 4 of them. I understand from the agent that not all of them are in your purview, but to the extent that you can enforce or add those two as conditions, that would be appreciated. So the first one is increasing the east wall fence height to 3.05 meters, reducing the east main floor windows to match the height of the fence, so the delta between them, adding a T-shaped addition to the rooftop privacy screen that needs to be 1.8 meters across the entirety of the east wall with a 2-foot vegetation planter, and adding the 1.8 meter entrance landing privacy screens that the agent mentioned on the entrance platforms on the north and south side of the building.
I
those
believe,
will-
sorry, I beg your pardon. Sorry for interrupting. Please continue.
I was going to say those address a number of privacy concerns of myself and the other abutting Slade Avenue neighbors.
Okay, thank you so much. I take it your Slade Avenue is directly east of the proposed project? So
That's right. So
directly behind.
So the proposed, it's a bit of an interesting situation because the development's entrances face north and east, and the sides of the unit face east and west. And so west is Christie Street, and east is the rear yards of the Slade Avenue residents. So there's about, I would say about eight of us that are directly abut to the east wall. And so through the bylaw exemption process and consultations and the approvals that the applicant and agent were able to secure, the development takes up a large portion and abuts very closely to our property line. They have a rear setback bylaw exemptions. And so as you see, the property comes almost to the fence line. So in this situation, from discussions, some of the things that the agent and applicant were willing to do address some of our privacy concerns.
Great. Thank you very much. Let me just see if any of my colleagues have any questions for you at this point. Seeing none, we'll move back to the agent and have the agent respond to all the concerns that have been raised. Mr. Chan, are you there?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, I am.
Hi, you've heard all the concerns. I wonder if you might provide some feedback for the folks who have both here and those online who have raised concerns.
Absolutely. With respect to Ms. Toole's comments for the lack of parking spaces, there's problems with parking in the area. The number of units will have 2 cars. Just like to note that with respect to that, the classification as apartment buildings triggers the variances for visitor parking spaces and accessible spaces. A 60-unit townhouse, if it were classified as a townhouse, would not require visitor parking, and the proposal remains consistent with this as a stacked townhouse. Again, it gets classified as an apartment building in the zoning bylaw as a stacked townhouse. The city's low-rise townhouse and low-rise apartment guidelines also cite this as a specific instance. As for accessible parking requirements, the proposal as a stacked townhouse is not proposed to be or is required to have accessible units, and that was part of the original discussions with the city on the initial zoning bylaw amendment application and continues to be so. The original proposal had a total of 12 parking spaces at a 1-to-1 unit ratio, and the revised proposal with 60 units also has a 1-to-1 ratio with a total of 16 parking spaces. And now the provisioning of bicycle parking spaces and bicycle maintenance facilities for each unit, both long-term and short-term parking spaces for visitors as well. Transportation Services has reviewed the revised traffic study by NextTrans that was submitted in early 2025 as part of the site plan approval application when the city was well aware that we were re-proposing as a 16-unit, and cited at that time in their commenting matrix that there were no concerns with the proposed increase in units and the number of parking spaces provided. This is also reflected by Transportation Services Development Review in their comments for this minor variance application, citing no concerns. Of note that this proposal is on a lot that is now classified as a major street per official plan amendment 727, and low-rise townhouses, and in this case, stacked townhouses are encouraged to be developed and are transit supportive. Bylaw 89/2022 also removed the requirement for resident parking spaces in apartment buildings, which in this case are stacked townhouses, yet they are still provided at a 1-to-1 ratio. The building could be in fact proposed with no resident parking spaces per bylaw 89/2022. CHRISTIE Street is served with a bus route, and the site is within a 4 to 5 minute walk or 350 meters to the St. Clair Street West streetcar right-of-way, and therefore is transit supportive. With respect to Ms. Booth's concerns at 580 CHRISTIE Street with regards to light pollution, I can advise the committee that as part of the site plan application, there is a lighting plan and a photometric plan that has been provided to city staff for review. This was also done in early 2025. And I'm happy to share the photometric and lighting plan with Ms. Booth should I receive her email address in order to share those documents. They are also available online on the Application Information Center because the site plan application documents are available for the public to view. I can advise that Mr. Logan has also raised on our discussions with him issues related to lighting, and I have shared the lighting plan with Mr. Logan, and I can advise that all the bollards on the exterior of the building and all the recessed lighting will be pointed towards the ground. Again, this lighting and photometric plan must receive approval from city staff in order to have finalized the site plan agreement. With respect to Mr. Watson's concern for the demonstration guard immediately to the north of development, the proposal does not propose any changes to the height setbacks or impacts from built form as approved by City Council. And in fact, part of the zoning bylaw amendment application and the site plan approval, there is a conveyance to increase the size of the park. You can see in the top right of your screen that little square is to be conveyed free and clear to the city to enhance the Witchwood Barns Park. And speaking to Mr. Logan's comments, yes, there's an agreement to have 1.8 meter tall rear privacy screens on the north and south landings facing east. We are discussing the rear windows to be reduced in height to be at the same height of the 3.05 meter fence that we've agreed to. I've also contacted Councillor Matlow's office in order to move forward with
Mr. Chen, if you could wrap up.
Yes,
hit you
sir.
for 5 minutes. Thank you.
Yes, in order to move forward with a fence exemption application, which is required to be forwarded through council, and those discussions have been engaged with the councillor's office in agreement with Mr. Logan.
Thank you very much. Let me just see if my colleagues have any questions for you before I have one, but
I have one too.
Ms. Chan has a question
Yeah,
for you.
now this development is classified as apartment building, right? Yeah. I just want to know, is there, and also some units are rental. I just want to know whether there's a requirement for accessible units.
In this case, we've had our designer consult building code expert, and because of the configuration of the units, they are reviewed by the Ontario Building Code as stacked townhouse, and therefore there is no requirement for accessible units.
Oh.
And yes, as you've mentioned, Ms. Chan,
Yeah.
because a stacked townhouse is classified by the zoning bylaws, an apartment building gets reviewed on that basis pursuant to the zoning bylaw.
Oh, so it's classified differently in the zoning as, and also from the building code classification? Is that what you, I just got a little bit confused.
Yes, Ms. Chen, there's a disconnect between how the building code is being, the building code elements are being reviewed by Toronto Buildings versus how the zoning bylaw treats the classification of the building.
Okay, so under the zoning classification, you are not required, but under OBC, no, it's reverse, right? Under OBC, you are required to accessible units, but zoning, you are not required. Is that how I understand? Is that the This,
No, Ms. Chen, it would be the reverse. So under the classification in the bylaw as an apartment building, it triggers the requirement for accessible parking spaces for an apartment building. However, the Ontario Building Code does not treat it as an apartment building. It's still considered a Part 9 small residential code as a stacked townhouse.
Understand. Okay, thank you. That is clear. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for Mr. Chan? No? Mr. Chan, there was one question that was raised, and I'm not quite sure where this place is located. One of the folks in opposition mentioned the demonstration garden and the shadow. Is that supposed to be directly north of the subject property? Because I'm looking at a Google Map view, and from what I can see is immediately north of the subject property. It indicates that that's the Witchwood Barns Dog Park.
Yes, Mr. Chair, there's approximately 4,000 square foot dog run that is located immediately north of the site. And I'm just going to look on aerials right now as well, sir.
Yeah, I don't see anything that
And what
indicates demonstration garden.
Maybe.
So
The
on the aerials, what I can see is there is what appears to be a space for a demonstration garden immediately north of the garage that you can currently see on the location map that has the number 18 number.
Okay.
So the demonstration garden is located approximately at the location of the rear garage to 573 Christie Street and does extend west to probably the rear main wall of the current building at 573 Christie Street.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I was just wondering, I couldn't quite figure out where it was. But thank you. No other questions, folks? All right. Thank you, Mr. Chan. We'll take it into committee and render a decision.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I can start with.
Colleagues? Yes, please.
Yeah, I can
Ms.
start
Chin.
with this one. Actually, this is, I think, a very, very good development in the area because first, it's just a step away from subways. Second, I think that the scale and the type of housing is very appropriate. I think that it's actually, even as the applicants mentioned, this is like a small building. Under building code is a Part 9 building, means that it's not like a high rise. I think this type of housing is very appropriate for this area, and and if you look at the massing that proposed, is actually probably more or less the same height as all these other houses around it. And the advantage also is the location of this site. That is why north is a big, large, open area. And I think with this, they're also going through a SPA review, means that there will be more detail will work out. And I do not think that even if you ask them to put a couple more parking spaces, will solve, as it seems that there's a parking issues in the area. So I will support this application. Yeah.
Thank you. Any other comments? Any thoughts? Mr. Bissonnette?
Yeah, I agree with my colleague. I think that this is an appropriate development, and I appreciate people coming out and expressing their concerns, and I understand their concerns. You know, as a resident of an urban neighborhood, I do appreciate them. You know, that the city really needs more housing. I understand light pollution, parking, and thank you for coming today. But I do find this project supportable. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Bissonnette. Just for my part, I concur that it's an appropriate location and project. One of the concerns with regard to folks who may have two vehicles, well, I think they'll soon discover that it's very problematic to have two vehicles in the city of Toronto if you intend on living in the downtown area. hopefully, we'll have people with one vehicle and have a dedicated parking spot. I think it is a very good location, and the city is what it is, and it's becoming more challenging to have vehicular access to vehicles, but it is located centrally between Davenport and St. Clair, so public transit is very close by. The other piece that I find quite interesting is this mixture between rental and non-rental, and I think that's an interesting change in this particular project. So I don't have any concerns about this project. So I'll look forward to a motion. Ms.
Yes,
Chen?
I can put forth a motion to approve with the privacy screening conditions, and I do not know whether that could be, no, or no.
No,
Should we impose that?
sorry, it's between the folks at the back and the
Oh,
the
okay, it's a
agent, so,
private
yeah.
agreement, okay.
We
so-
can't police that one.
Oh, I see, but then don't we usually have, also can put a condition as for private, to resolve the privacy issues?
We could, I think, so if we want to add
Through
that.
you, Mr. Chair, yes, if you want to include a privacy screening
Yeah.
condition, you can, but you have to explain exactly what
Yeah,
that
that's why I
condition is
thought
going
that
to
do we
read.
have the exact, where did the, I marked
We'd have to
down-
come out of committee and go back to the applicant to
Okay.
talk about the privacy screening conditions, because we
Thank
need the
you.
exact wording for those conditions.
Yes, can we do
Yeah,
that?
Mr. Chan, are you still there? Mr. Chan?
We're just unmuting Mr. Chan.
Okay, thank you. I believe you've been unmuted, Mr. Chan.
Hello, yes, Mr.
Hi,
Chair, thank you.
I don't know if you just heard, but we'd like to put in a condition about the privacy screen that you and the neighbors to the east discussed. Could you
Yes.
identify exactly where that the fencing is going to be located so that we can add it in as a condition?
Yes, absolutely. If I could ask staff to pull up the presentation materials, I can specify. In the site plan. So yes, if I can ask staff to zoom into the east side of the building, you can see there are entrance landings on the north and south sides of the building, and the 1.8 meter tall opaque privacy screens that were discussed between myself and Mr. Copen would be placed at the rear east side of those entrance landings, along the length of those entrance landings. So if you can just go to the northeast corner of the building with the cursor and zoom in there if possible.
Of East Landing.
So that section there, you see the the 1100 measurement mark, and to go to the point of the thick black line at the northeast corner of the building, and extending northwards to the, yes, from there, extending northwards to the edge of that entrance landing would be the first northeast private 1.8 meter privacy screen, and that is also, if you can scroll down to the south landing, another one would be along that landing there. And the condition that I would recommend to read as the applicant is to construct a maximum 1.8 meter tall opaque privacy screen on the east side of the entrance platforms on the north and south side of the building.
Okay,
Staff, have you, you've got
Yeah.
that, wonderful, thank you, Mr. Chan.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, let's,
Okay, yeah.
Ms. Chan?
yes,
Back
with
to you.
with that condition, I would like to have a motion to approve.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Mr. Bissonnette, thank you very much. All those in favor? Thank you. Mr. Chan, you have your approval. Thank you. Okay. Okay, moving on to item number 3. Item number 3 is Item number 3 is 14 McGee Street. The purpose of the application is to alter the existing 2.5-story semi-detached dwelling by constructing a complete third-story addition. The committee had before it the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 3 photographs of the subject property, planning justification report presented by the agent, staff reports from Metrolinx, and not community planning, it's development and engineering. And we also have correspondence in support from 4 McGee Street, 12 McGee Street, 16 McGee Street. Okay.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have the agent online to speak.
Terrific, thank you. Mr. Palumbo, are you there? Good morning, Mr. Palumbo.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Committee of Adjustment staff. My name is Andrew Palumbo of Ian Hall Planning Limited, and my address is 38 Betty Nagle Street in Toronto, and I am the planner and agent for 14 McGee Street.
Thank you very much, Mr. Palumbo. We don't have anybody in opposition, so we don't need a presentation from that perspective, but let me just see if my colleagues have any questions for you. This looks like a very straightforward application. You've got a single variance. Any questions or thoughts? No? Okay. Mr. Palumbo, we'll take it into committee and render a decision. We don't have any need for a presentation. Thank you. Okay, who wants to take this one? Oh, thank you, Mr. Gogan.
Yeah, I'll take it. First of all, I think it's a very good, complete application. It's great that there is letters of support from the adjacent homeowners. And again, I find it a simple application, and I would recommend, propose we approve this application as is. I don't think there's any.
There's a Metrolinx advisory, but nothing beyond that.
No forestry conditions.
No conditions. Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Mr. Bissonnette, thank you very kindly. We have a motion to approve by Mr. Gogan, seconded by Mr. Bissonnette. All those in favor? Thank you. Mr. Palumbo, you have your approval. Thank you. Okay, and moving on to items 4 and items 5, both of which have been postponed.
Do you have to read the address? Do you have to read the address?
We need to read it, thank you.
That's
No
don't
need.
to.
Oh,
Okay.
thank you. All right, so we move on to item number 6. Item number 6 is 388 WINNETT Avenue. The purpose of the application is to construct a new 3-story detached dwelling with a front covered veranda, a front 3rd-story covered balcony, a rear 1st-story deck with stairs, and a rear 3rd-story balcony. Also to construct a new 1-story detached ancillary building, 2-car garage in the rear yard. And the committee had before it copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans and elevations, revised site plan, floor plans and elevations, 9 photographs of the subject property, and presentation materials from the agent. In addition, we've had staff reports from forestry received September the 8th, 2025. Okay.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have the agent online to speak.
Thank you. Mr. Romano, are you there?
Morning, Mr. Chairman. Franco Romano, Action Planning, 321 Lakeshore.
Lovely. Thank you, Mr. Romano. Good morning. We don't have anybody in opposition, so we don't need a presentation from that perspective. Let me see if my colleagues have any need either for presentation or have questions for you. None? Mr. Romano, I do have a question for you. Maybe you can quickly explain that to me. Variance number 1, you've got a front yard soft landscaping. Is that an existing circumstance?
There is an existing front yard deficiency. It's 8.1 square meters, and the proposal is at 6.12 square meters. So it's fairly consistent with one another. The difference being that the proposal is actually going to have more front yard landscaping because the dwelling is going to be set back further from the front lot line, which you can see in slide 1 of my presentation or on this drawing here. Yeah, so it's a little difficult to compare because it's apples to oranges because the front yard area is different, but the proposal is going to have a little more front yard landscaping than what is currently existing. We do have permeable pavers being provided in the backyard as an apron in front of the garage in order to avoid the right of way.
Right. And that's a shared driveway, I believe, so that's your access.
Correct.
And
yes.
you've got permeable pavers in the driveway at the back in between the house and the garage that I can see.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Ms. Chan, do you have any
Yeah,
questions?
just the same question. I noticed that the existing conditions, where you have the permeable paver, is actually asphalt pave, right? So you propose to change that into permeable paver. So my question is, if we're going to approve, we will make it tied to your site plan, proposed site plan. Is that okay? Yeah.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for that question, and that is what I would recommend. Yes, that any approval be tied to the condition that it be the permeable paving shown on the site plan shall be constructed, or that it's the September 10th. 2025 site plan that was submitted showing that specifically.
September 10th, okay.
That's a revised one, I take it?
Yes, correct.
Perfect, thank you. Thank you very much. Any other questions?
No.
Okay. We'll take it into committee, Mr. Romano, and we'll render a decision. Thank you. Okay, who would like to take this?
Oh, I can. Okay, I can take this. Although the number of variants seems to be like 10, but then I think that cumulatively they still are sort of appropriate or reasonable. And I like the fact that they actually have improved the existing situation in terms of the area of asphalt paving, and with the conditions that will substantially, according to the revised site plan, September 10th, receives September 10th, and also forestry condition 2, I would like to have a motion to approve.
Sorry, it's condition number 3.
Number 3.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry. Yeah, I can't read my own writing. Okay. All right.
Thank you. Bear with me one moment while I scribble. Thank you. Ms. Chan's got a motion on the floor to approve with one condition, or 2 conditions. One is to tie to site plan, September 10th, revised site plan. And the second is forestry condition number 3. Do we have a seconder? Mr. Bissonnette, thank you very much. All those in favor? Thank you. Mr. Romano, you have your approval. Thank you. See you soon. Okay. And item number 36, number 7. Moving on to item number 7, which is 33 Beatrice Street. The purpose of the application is to alter the existing 2 1/2 story semi-detached dwelling by constructing a rear 1-story addition along the north side of the existing 1-story addition, including an extension to the basement area and the 2nd-story rooftop deck. Also, to reconstruct the rear basement with walkout stairs. There will be a total of 2 residential dwelling units on this lot, 1 occupying the basement and 1 unit occupying the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd stories.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have the agent online to speak.
Okay, I just need to read in the materials. So the committee had before it the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 5 photographs of the subject property, and we have correspondence in concern or interest from 31 Beatrice Street. Thank you. And moving on to, is that Aaron, the agent? Good morning.
Yes.
Sorry,
yes.
I
Good
didn't want to-
morning.
I didn't want to mess up your last name, so I'll let you pronounce it. Thank you.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Chairman
morning.
and members of the committee. My name is Aaron Idoween, and my
Wonderful.
address
Thank you.
is 285 Hillhurst Boulevard.
Thank you very kindly. We do have somebody in interest or possibly concern.
Sure.
So perhaps you might want to just give us a brief presentation, please.
Okay. I'm here to request the 2 variances for 33 Beatrice. They are related to a 6.22 meter 1-story rear addition with a roof deck. The first variance relates to the roof deck's proximity to the side property line. The proposed setback of the 1-story addition is allowable for an exception to the zoning bylaw, but the roof deck above is not included in that exception to the bylaw. So I'm seeking relief for that, so that we can incorporate the full width of the roof deck, which would encroach on the side setback by 0.42 meters. And the second variance is related to the rear soft landscaping requirement. The existing condition for the soft landscaping is non-compliant for both 33 and 31 Beatrice, as a connected rear laneway garage was constructed in the backyards of both properties, preventing both of them from complying with the soft landscaping requirements. However, the proposed landscaping for 33 will improve the soft landscaping by removing existing paving, patio pavers from the existing 10% soft landscaping to a proposed 28.7%. And if I take the garage out of the equation, the soft landscaping then would comply with the bylaw requirements. So that is the quick explanation of the variances we're seeking.
Thank you very much. Let me just see if there are any questions for you at this point. If not, we'll
Sure.
Go to the person in interest and see what they have to say, and maybe have questions for you later.
Sure.
Do you have somebody online? No?
Through you, Mr. Chair, no, we
Oh.
don't have anyone online for this one.
Concern letter.
Somebody
I
in
think it was
concern?
just a letter that we received from the
Okay.
owner at 31 Beatrice Street.
Nobody wants to speak.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the presentation, which we obviously perhaps didn't need, but it helps. I'll just see if there are any questions for you from committee members.
Yes, I do have a quick
Ms.
one.
Chan?
Yes, if the staff can bring up the photographs with the backyard where the, showing the stair in the backyard, yeah, one more, that one, yeah.
Okay,
So
yes.
I just want to know, because your proposed site plan, it seems that you're going to reconfigure all these pavings, and there's a patch of concrete paving just right on the right-hand side of that addition. You're going to, you show as if on your site plan, it's like going to be soft landscaping, right? They say.
So basically what I'm proposing is a walkway that
Yeah, in
leads
the
from the
middle.
side walkway.
Yeah.
We have a stacked, there actually is currently a stacked stairway, one stair leading to a basement walkout, and then just above it is the metal stair that's shown in that photograph that
Yeah.
leads to the roof deck.
Yeah.
So the proposed paving would remain, to access those stairs, then connect to the rear stair to the rear patio door, and then a pathway to the garage.
And then the rest will be soft landscaping, right?
The rest will be soft landscaping, which
Yeah.
is not currently there.
Yeah, so my question is, again, if we tied it to, on your site plan, it's not indicated clearly, but on your landscaping plan, which is one drawing
Yes.
done, indicating the area and, yeah, that one. So
Yes.
we're going to tie it to this drawing,
Yes.
I think the 0.2. Will that
Yeah.
be okay with you? Yeah? Okay.
Yes. That's the intention.
Okay,
Is
thank you.
Excellent, thank you.
use the proposed soft landscaping as illustrated in that landscape drawing.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, I was also wondering, so I'm glad
Yeah.
you picked that one up.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah, because I couldn't see it on the site plan, yeah. But
Thanks a lot. So it's at least an improvement. Thank you. Any other questions? Any concerns? No? All right. Thank you so very much. We'll take it into committee and render a decision. Okay. Ms. Chan, did you want to take this?
Yes. I think they actually looking for two variances. The first one, the rooftop top deck, they were going to rebuild it and to square it out. And I noticed that it's, first of all, it's an existing deck. They're making it a little more square. And also the existing deck that were in the next door neighbors. So I do not think this will increase the impact. So the second variance is that they actually, we tied it to the proposed landscape plan. They actually going to improve it. So I think this is why I support this application and like to have a motion to approve with the conditions that tie to the landscape drawing 0.2.
Excellent. Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Mr. Gogan, thank you very much. Thank you. All those in favor of this application with one condition, and that is to tie the application to the landscape plan 0-0.2. Thank you. All those in favor? Wonderful. Thank you. You have your approval, sir. Thank you. Okay. Moving on to item number 8. Which is 110 Greenlaw Avenue. The purpose of the application is to construct a new 2-story detached dwelling with a front porch, a rear covered ground floor deck, a rear basement walkout, and a rear 2nd-story rooftop deck. Also to alter the existing 1-story ancillary building, a detached garage abutting the laneway by increasing its overall height. Committee had before it copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 4 photographs of trees on the subject property, and an email correspondence from zoning, from the agent, or between the agent and the zoning examiner.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have the agent online to speak.
Thank you. Mr. Gerber, good morning.
Hi, good morning. My name is Joel Gerber of 23 Doncaster in Toronto.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for being here. Let me just see if my colleagues have any questions for you or require a presentation.
I do have a question.
Ms. Chan has a question for you.
Yes, my question is this proposal was a different one before that you have a 2-story I mean, you have the auxiliary building with also at same height, but at that time, you have a mezzanine, you propose a mezzanine. And at one point that it got eliminated is after you have discussion with community planning. So since you eliminate the mezzanine, why are you still keeping the height?
Yes, good morning. Very, very great question. The original intent was that the client requested additional storage. In order to kind of keep things simple from a planning perspective, the desire was to use a racking system in a taller garage rather than build the floor of the mezzanine. So from a planning perspective, we felt that the height was like not out of character with other possible laneway houses or garden suites, and that they can achieve their storage in a building envelope with simply an open space that they can use racking systems instead of building a floor. The benefit was that they don't need an interior stair as well. So there's no services to the building. It's not going to become a laneway house. It's just, it's for storage. That was the intent. So the reduction of the mezzanine allowed us to remove the stairs. And so now they can use a racking and, pulley system to put all their sports equipment and, materials in the garage.
So it is still a garage with a lot of so-called, you call it racking system, I do not know, but.
Right? Yeah, it's just a large storage garage, yes. And to give a bit of context, the initial project, I'll be very brief. We obtained building permits for the house in an identical size and scope and design. During demolition, we found that the house framing was actually unsafe. So we had an engineer letter. I wrote a letter as the architect. They had used a stile and rail door in the structural wall framing of an addition from probably the 1950s. Every stud was out of plumb. So the reason that we're kind of at committee was primarily to administratively get approved the house as designed, as a quote-unquote new construction, because we had replaced some structure. And the intent was, the house is the largest priority, and the intent was that if the garage was undesirable, they're very happy to remove this if there's any point of contention. But the desire was to kind of put as much storage into the ancillary building as possible. So that was just our kind of little soapbox speech.
So you have mentioned that it's not going to be a garden suite. It's not going to be a laneway suite either, right? If it were a garden suite, you also then there's extra height or the shape of the garden suite will. All those will apply, right? The angular plane penetrations and all that, right?
Of course, yeah. We've definitely designed many laneway homes and garden homes, and there's no services and no intention to convert this in the future into a second dwelling. So that was
Thank you.
That was the owner's request. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Let me just see if there are any other questions for you. Perhaps I'll just raise my concerns about and it's again variance number 5, the height. I recognize the explanation that you've just provided about storage. However, when I look at the rendition, it's a massing effect in the back, and it's not a laneway suite. So I do have concern with that height. I mean, it's a little over 50% increase in what is allowed.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that for me is problematic.
Are we in committee now?
No, not yet, but I was just going to say to the agent, I think this is my concern. But if I heard you correctly, you said if that particular variance is not desirable, would you be okay with not approving that one? Is that what I understood? Or
Yes, of course. So it's the client's greatest desire to kind of close the main house, and we can address that in the future if that's a sticking point. We did have some letters of support from adjacent neighbors in the neighborhood, And we also communicate with the community planner to see if that height was of issue. And I mean, to them particularly, it wasn't. But to be very clear, if that's the only sticking point, we're absolutely more than happy to remove that.
Yeah, and I think the concern is that it's not a habitable space. If it was a habitable space, it's in a laneway suite, we'd be looking at it differently. So I think that for me would be a concern. But thank you for your response. Let me just see if there are any other questions before we take it into committee. No? Okay. We'll take it into committee and render a decision.
I
Ms.
agree.
Chan, your comments?
Yeah, I agree with you, Mr. Chair, because number 5 I cannot approve, because when you look at if the staff can bring out the photographs, the second set, the last page, you can see if it's a 6, and this is not even just 6.21 meter height, it will be massive. And I do not think the benefit to the last one, this one, now is 1 story. Look at the all around, it will be the largest structure at the in the back of in the rear yard, and this doesn't have a laneway to actually mitigate it. So I cannot support number 5, variance number 5. The rest are okay to me.
Any other thoughts, comments? Mr. Gogan?
Yeah, I agree. I think that 20-foot structure for the ancillary building is not really in keeping with the existing neighborhood. Not that that's the ultimate measure, but I think if we, 1 through 4 seem acceptable. 5, no, I'm not in support of number 5.
Thank you. Okay, would you like to perhaps move a motion, Mr. Gogan?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for the applicant's candor and complete application. Again, I'd like to move that we approve variances 1, 2, 3, and 4, and not number 5. I don't see any additional, there's no conditions.
No other conditions.
No
Yeah.
other conditions.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Thank you, Mr. Bissonnette. Thank you. Okay, we have a motion on the floor to approve variances 1, 2, 3, and 4, and to refuse variance number 5. Moved by Mr. Gogan, seconded by Mr. Bissonnette. All those in favor? Thank you. You have your semi-approval, sir. Thank you. Okay, moving on to item number 9, 242 Forest Hill Road. Purpose of the application is to construct a new 3-story detached dwelling, including a basement extension below with a walkout, with an integral garage, a front covered porch with stairs, and a rear covered patio platform. Also, a new front driveway will be constructed on the east side of the lot. The existing detached garage will be demolished. We have 6 variances before us, and the committee had before it the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. 3 photographs of the subject property received August the 6th. Covering letter from the agent, Mr. Romano. Decision number affecting the subject property. Presentation materials from the agent. We also have a shadow study presented and prepared by the agent. And we have 1 form letter in opposition signed by owners and occupants of 239, 243, 245 Forest Hill Road. And we have correspondence in opposition from 244 Forest Hill Road. Thank you.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have the agent online, and we also have speakers both in person and online.
Thank you. Good morning again, Mr. Romano.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Hi,
members of
name
the
and
panel.
address,
Franco.
please.
Yes, Franco Romano, Action Planning, 321 Lakeshore.
Thank you. As we do have folks in opposition, Could you please give us a 5-minute presentation?
Yes, absolutely. If staff can bring up my presentation slides, please, that'd be terrific. Well, if staff is doing that, the first thing I'll say is that the differences between what was before a differently constituted panel in March of this year and the proposal before this panel today. Firstly, the rear one-story bump out that is shown in purple in the lower left of at the back of the dwelling used to be on the west side, so on the opposite side of the building. So that would be on the west side, and it was larger in terms of its building footprint and its length. The building length and depth have been reduced, and that reduction is in totality. And the side yard setback that was along the west was at 0.88 or 88 centimeters, is now at 1.2 meters. And floor space index has been reduced as well, 0.85. The front stairs and the rear covered patio have also been reduced in size. What I'm showing on slide 1 is the building footprint that's being proposed, and in light green around the perimeter of the building, so the sides and the back, represent essentially what is at variance, what is being sought as a variance. And I've indicated the where that applies. So the light green is for a 2-story component. The 1-story component is the purple or the blue in the lower left. And that is, so the difference between the two is that one is permitted to have a building that is 19 meters long as it has 3-meter side yard setbacks. And you'll see that rather than have that 1-story portion at the back extend along the width, a larger width of the building, it's tucked in on one side next to 240, and therefore what that helps to do is mitigates and minimizes and eliminates any overlook and overview, and also eliminates any shadow resulting from that increased length and depth. I'm not going to go into detail on the shadow drawings because that submission was made a couple of weeks ago, but in terms of shadow, and as of right and the proposal, there is pretty much no difference. Where there is an increase in shadow, it is in very small portions to the west and the east for very small periods of time during the day. Maybe 1.5 hours, little bump outs, like the dormers would create a little bit of shadow. It moves quickly and it is negligible in terms of the impact. What has also been done in the proposal in terms of a reduction is building height is being reduced. Even though there was no building height variance, building height is being reduced in size. So what is being proposed here is very much pretty close to what is permitted as of right. The driveway location, while it's not a variance, it helps protect the city trees. There are no mature trees that are being impacted. And if we move on to slide number 2, we'll see that in terms of floor space index, both along the same street and within the neighborhood, it's quite common to have variances. And it's at 0.85, it fits at the upper range, but it is certainly not the largest on either the street or in the neighborhood. And that floor space index is being deployed such that the 3rd floor is fully within the zoning bylaw compliant roof. So there is no variance for length, depth, height, setbacks for the 3rd floor that triggers that floor space index in the 3rd story, which is permitted. If we remove the floor area on the third floor, we'd be at 0.69. And on the next
Sorry
page,
to
you'll see
interrupt,
the
Mr.
length
Mono.
and depth.
Can you wrap up, please?
Yes, on the next page, you'll see length and depth sampling, very similar comments. So I would submit that this revision is more sensitive to the neighboring context, mitigates and eliminates impacts, and is minor in nature. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the panel.
Thank you. We've got folks in opposition, so there may be some more questions for you. Thank you. And moving on to our folks online or in person.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we'll start with the in-person speaker from 244 Forest Hill Road.
Good morning. Mr. Prince, I take it?
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome. If you could just give us your name and address for the record.
With pleasure. My name is Erwin Prince, and I reside at 244 Forest Hill Road, directly adjacent to the dwelling we're speaking about. It's important that I start again that you know that we embrace development, but development that respects the zoning bylaws designed to prevent overdevelopment. On March 26th of this year, the committee refused the previous application, finding that it failed all 4 statutory tests under Section 45(1) of the Planning Act. This resubmission is essentially the same oversized first presented dwelling and declined by the committee. FSI has been reduced from 0.9 to 0.85. That's still 143% over the permitted 0.35. Building length and depth have been reduced by only 2%, still 32% and 18% over, and the side yards remain at 20% deficient. These are just cosmetic reductions that are being presented. The fundamental planning deficiencies remain. The applicant's own submission confirms this overdevelopment. Can we take a look at slide 2, please, of the applicant's slides? In their own supporting materials, Action Planning Consultants provided an FSI sampling, their sampling along Forest Hill Road on that slide. Their data shows of the 17 homes they sampled, the FSI ranges from 0.36 to 0.88. The street average of that sample, 0.72. The median, 0.76. The applicant's request, 0.85. By their own submission, this house would be 18.5 larger than their sample size, 11.5% larger than the median, and larger than 16 of the 17 homes in this sample. In other words, in the applicant's own data, this proposal would sit at the extreme high end of density in this section of Forest Hill Road, exceeded only by a single home in their sample. Action Planning's length and depth sampling in slide 3 is selective and misleading as well, I believe. The bylaw is clear. Maximum length is 17 meters, maximum depth is 19 meters. This application proposes 22.4 meters length and 22.5 meters in depth. That's still 32 and 18% respectively over the limits. The bylaw sets a ceiling, and this proposal far exceeds it. And neighborhood impacts are real. Despite the applicant's shadow study, we will still experience in our yard reduced morning light and privacy loss from inadequate setbacks. Further, I submit that no planning justification has been offered. Beyond citing architectural efficiency and cherry-picked examples from other streets, the applicant provides no legitimate planning rationale for exceeding zoning standards by these margins. For example, their reference to Dunvegan Road, I believe, is misleading. Dunvegan has bigger lots, different topography, and a distinct building form that accommodates larger houses. Forest Hill has its own established rhythm and scale, and that is the context which I believe should guide your decision. The Planning Act is clear. Good planning either fits within the envelope or provides compelling reasons to depart. And I submit this application does neither. And planning integrity, I believe, does matter. Approving this application will undermine the committee's prior decision, treating your earlier refusal as a simple negotiating position. It will signal to other applicants that systematic overbuilding can succeed with minor cosmetic revisions, and it will likely encourage more speculative redevelopment that erodes the character of established neighborhoods. The applicant has had the opportunity to redesign within zoning parameters. Instead, they chose to return with essentially the same oversized plan. In conclusion, in my last 56 seconds, I believe, members of this committee, that this proposal fails all 4 statutory tests, is demonstrably out of scale with Forest Hill Road by the applicant's own evidence, and undermines the integrity of the planning process. For these reasons, I respectfully urge you to deny this application.
Thank you, Mr. Prince. Thank you for being so concise. Thank you. We'll move on to the other folks in opposition, and then agent will have an opportunity to provide you some feedback.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we will move on to the online speaker from 243 Forest Hill Road.
Thank you. Hello, good morning, Mr. Goldman.
Good morning.
Hi,
good morning, committee.
Name and address, please.
My name is Ron Goldman, and I live at 243 Forest Hill Road.
Thank you. You have 5 minutes to present.
Mr. Prince has covered a lot of the points that I wanted to go through, but I'm going to keep it brief. So I'm really here to voice my objection to the current proposal. It's symbolically different from the one that the committee rejected 5.5 months ago. And I want to focus on the bigger picture, which is at stake here, which is the cohesiveness and integrity of our neighborhood and the immediate neighborhood. And I will add that the one outlier, the one piece of data with FSI is really not part of the immediate. The one that was 8.88, it is not part of the immediate. If you look at the map. Community, and the houses that were not chosen are much smaller, so the averages are really skewed. But anyway, so someone could say, hey, what's the difference? A meter here and a small percentage more FSI there. Well, why does this really matter? Who cares? But cumulatively, these variances will result in a structure that is greatly out of step and scale with its surroundings. This overbuilt structure will dwarf the neighboring homes, reduce sunlight, and affect drainage. It will also set a terrible precedent for future nearby developments, which are coming. The bylaws in this community are in place to prevent this overreach. These are clearly not requests for minor variances. How could anyone classify an FSI 143% over the permitted amount as minor? Together, these requests are unreasonable and defy the intent and spirit of the bylaws and the process. So I respectfully request that the committee reject this proposal and compel the applicants to return with a more thoughtful and judicious application. Thank you.
Thank you very kindly. Okay, we'll move on to, is it Ms. Lederman, Jennifer Lederman?
Correct, Mr. Chair. We are moving on to the speaker from 239 Forest Hill Road.
Thank you kindly. Good morning, Ms. Lederman.
Hello.
Hi, good morning. Could you get your name and address, please?
Jennifer Lederman, 239 Forest Hill Road.
You have 5 minutes to make your case. Thank you.
Okay. I live here with my husband and young adult daughter, all of us registered owners of this property. I'm speaking on behalf of my family today. This is the second time that we are coming together with other neighbors to oppose what we continue to see as an overdevelopment of the lot at 242. The revised application before you is very much the same as the March 2025 application, which was rejected by the committee in March. The joint letter to the committee dated September 10, opposing this application, signed by our household and 2 other households, sets out our concerns, objections, and analysis of the 4 tests under the Planning Act in detail. The table in the letter shows that this new application consists of only minimal changes to the refused March application. There's still the issue of undue massing from the size of the proposed building in terms of length, depth, FSI, and the reduced side yard setbacks, the latter of which, as one committee member said in March, are undefendable for new buildings. I would like to specifically address the FSI component and the applicability of the official plan provisions. Under the bylaw, the as-of-right FSI is 0.35. Our recollection is that when the bylaw was being revised, many of us submitted that this number made no sense given current conditions. A fair number of people believed that for Forest Hill, the permitted FSI should be 0.6 to match the rest of Toronto. In the end, it was decided by lawmakers to leave the 0.35, basically so that new developments could be controlled and the stability and unique green nature and traditional character of this neighborhood could be preserved by having applications for developments request exemptions and variances where the Committee of Adjustment would weigh these very carefully. All this to say that our neighborhood, especially the immediate area in which the 242 property sits, is a very established, stable one, still consisting mainly of houses that have 2.5 stories, that are lined uniformly with Forest Hill Road, and that based on information we have an average FSI of approximately 0.7. Mr. Prince got the same FSI quite independently from us. We were disappointed that in March, one of the 2 dissenting committee members who responded to similar statements that I just made basically said that it was only old houses that had FSI cited. From our perspective, his implication was that our statistics were not relevant because of this view. Also, he seemed to imply that it was older residents who tend to oppose developments. With all due respect, we find this kind of reasoning unacceptable, suggestive of discrimination and bias based on the age of objectors. It is not a good thing, and we ask that this view and kind of analysis not be repeated or embraced by this committee. Also, we believe that the same dissenting member went on to say that the kind of large development before you was trending in our neighborhood and therefore allowable. He seemed to not understand the control mechanism behind the permitted 0.35 FSI in the bylaw, and he did not get the meaning of average FSI. From our reading of the provisions in the official plan, trending is not a relevant consideration in a case like ours, where the neighborhood is an old, stable one with an established character. The key consideration in this scenario is whether the proposal follows and respects the character of the neighborhood, which we believe it does not, despite statements made to the contrary by the applicant. We would like to end by saying that we do not blindly oppose new developments in our community. We oppose and will continue to oppose what we see as overdevelopment of the land in light of the 4 tests under the Planning Act. We are standing up for current residents and future residents like our young adult daughter who loves this neighborhood and plans to continue to live here after we are gone. Finally, if we look at this proposal on a socio-economic basis, it doesn't help in housing affordability, availability, reduction of carbon footprint, and preservation of certain infrastructure components like the sewage system and the sanitary system, which is already greatly taxed. We request the committee to reject this application for all the reasons given, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Ms. Liederman. Let me just see if any colleagues have any questions for you at this point. None? Okay. We'll move on to, do we have any other folks in opposition that need to be heard?
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have no more registered speakers for this item.
Wonderful. Thank you so very much. We'll move on to the agent, Mr. Romano. We'll get you back and have you respond to the 3 folks who have made presentations.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. And thanks to the 3 residents for their comments. Certainly, mathematics is something that we see on paper, but in terms of the actual build form and the deployment of the floor area and the building length and depth is very much consistent with what we see not only on Forest Hill Road, but on other streets. I know Mr. Prince has indicated again, as he did in March, that Dunvegan is different in terms of lot depth than Forest Hill, but that's incorrect. On Dunvegan, we have lot depths of about 45 meters, and on Forest Hill, it's about 43 meters. The street does dip, so then there are differences on both of those streets, so they're very much in common. In terms of deployment, as I mentioned earlier, but not perhaps as specific as I'd like to mention, the proposal as the third floor built fully within a zoning bylaw compliant roof. That roof would be there whether there is habitable space or not. And the efficiencies that come with having that floor area means that it makes for a practical dwelling in this neighborhood where 2.5-story dwellings and 3-story dwellings are quite common. Even on Forest Hill Road, we'll see dwellings that have 3 levels of living above an integral garage. And in this case, we have 2 above an integral garage. In terms of floor space index, I appreciate the observations made by Mr. Prince and others regarding my graphic. What I will say is that along Forest Hill Road, in the immediate context, there are 40 residential properties, and 92.5% of them, so 37 of those 40 properties, do not comply with the 0.35 that applies to this neighborhood. What we see is floor space index even for existing buildings, because all I'm showing here on slide 2 that staff have brought up are Committee of Adjustment and TLAB decisions approving variances. I did not show what the existing urban fabric is. So the existing along Forest Hill, 92.5% of those properties exceed 0.35 and 25% exceed 0.7. The proposal without the third floor is at 0.69. So there has been quite a bit of sensitivity in terms of the design, in terms of how the floor area gets deployed. I've already talked extensively in my previous submission about the length and depth, and the proposals being articulated in order to minimize and avoid shadow and privacy impacts. Number 240, the adjacent lot to the east that has that 1-story bump out next to it, has no objections. And we've moved, the owner agreed, because when I talked to them after March, the owner agreed to move that bump out to the east side, away from number 244, Mr. Prince's property. And that has minimized a number of issues that were raised by Mr. Prince in the previous submission, and I believe it also addresses all of the concerns that are being raised today. If we go back to slide number 1, we'll see once again, that the third floor has no setback, no length, no depth, no height variance associated with it. It's just a 1-story bump out and a 2-story component that have some minor variances. So I would submit that what is being proposed here is minor in nature, and there is no unacceptable adverse impact. And I'm happy to walk through the shadow drawings, but it's going to take me longer than a minute to go through the shadow drawings. Those were submitted. I know Mr. Prince looked for them before the March submission. Having supplied them, I see no evidence to contradict what those shadow findings produce, which is that the shadow is minimal, would occupy space that envelops existing shadow, such as fencing, accessory structures, landscaping, and that there is no shadow impact from the proposal. And I will close by saying that planning staff has, as part of its public interest mandate, to ensure that new development respects and reinforces the neighborhood physical character, and they have no objections. So subject to any questions, Mr. Chairman, I thank you for your deliberation.
Thank you very kindly for your responses. Let me just see if any of my colleagues have questions for you. Ms.
Yes,
Chan.
I
Ms.
do.
Chan.
Yes, I have one question. I'm looking at the aerial view of your proposed site. Can you tell me, in comparison with 246 and 248 on your side, those two are sort of like, I can see they are sticking out more. With your new proposal, how much, whether you're sticking out or more or less the same as those two houses? It's,
Sorry, those two addresses?
yeah,
I
yes,
was-
246 and it's and 248. It's two house. I think is west of you. Yeah. So if I'm looking at not the location map, but it's the aerial map or the Google map, seems that they actually have they stick out more, and also it seems that they also have 2 stories. Why you're proposing your depth is the longer is at on the ground floor. Actually, your second floor sort of like set back quite a bit, right? So I just want to know whether you your proposal is more or less the same. We are looking at 246 and 248.
Yes, so I thank you for that question through you, Mr. Chairman. What we'll see is 246 and 248 do extend deeper in the proposal, and those 2 stories are for the full size, and they have full length and depth, and at 246 and 248, and then they have 2 stories plus a roof on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
And what is being proposed here in terms of length and depth, probably at the 2-story level,
Mm-hmm.
about, I would say, maybe identical to 248, and maybe about 30 centimeters longer than 246.
Okay, thank you.
For the 2-story component. The third story is within the roof, and it is less than what 246 and 248 have. It's not as long as 246 and 248.
Yes, that's what I want to to clearly sort of have some kind of comparison. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Chen. Thank you, Mr. Romano. Let me just see if any of my other colleagues, Mr. Gogan?
Just one quick question. Since the April decision, was there any further consultation with neighbors?
Yes, through you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for that. Thank you for that question. I know the owner has for number 240. Again, they had no objections previously and no objections this time. I don't believe that the owner had any further discussions with number 244. No.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Mr. Bissonnette, any questions or concerns? No? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Romano. I think we'll take it into committee and have a deliberation here before we render a decision. Thank you.
So,
Mr. Bissonnette?
I recall this proposal from its previous submission in March, and I'd want to thank the proponents for their revising their requested variances in their further renewed consideration. I do find the updated proposal to be supportable. I think it's an appropriate development for this location. I think this reapplication reflects a thoughtful response to concerns raised by neighbors with clear efforts to mitigate those issues. I acknowledge and thank the neighbors who have taken the time to share their perspectives with the committee today. That engagement is valuable and appreciated, and their input was considered by me carefully as part of my deliberation. So thank you.
Thank you for that. Ms. Chen, your thoughts?
My thought is that, in terms of numbers, when I look at the variance in terms of building depth and building length, it seems to be quite a large extent now. But then I feel, and then I look, it's mainly on the ground floor or in basement, and on the second floor, which is like a 3 meters setback. And I thought that after that, I would say that is more in compared to some, maybe it's a couple houses on the west side, it is probably the similar proposal. Secondly, there was some mention about shadows, and I look at, actually I did look through the shadow study, and because of orientation of this property, is mainly the sun is still receive a considerable number of hours sunlight in the backyard, and also with the looking at the aerial view, there are actually many large trees between properties anyway. So I do not think the orientation of this proposal will increase the impact of the shadow. I think it's, the trees already doing their job of the privacy and all the shadowing. So and also compared to, I wasn't in the first hearing, so I'm not too sure the other reasons for the refusal, but for this time, they seem to have done sort of reduced number of variances. So I think I can support it.
Thank you. Mr. Gogan, any thoughts before I weigh in?
Thank you. I'll add a few. So, again, when you look at the individual variances, it's not none of these are extraordinary with regard to kind of numerical percentages, and they seem to be in line. But we have to look at the whole assembly of them. And I think both the applicant and the neighbors have made clearly identified areas of concern with regard to, obviously, the FSI being higher than they're comfortable with. But again, I think a lot of, as the applicant pointed out, a significant majority of the existing residences on that particular street are not compliant. So it's not, we don't want to get into a contest of how not compliant we can become. It's more about what's an appropriate solution for the street. And then when I look at the setback from the street, when I look at the context in which it sits within its context, I find the house, no comment on the design, but it seems to, from the street frontage, seem to be compatible with the street. And I think that the additional, the 0.85 isn't extraordinary. And all of the other variances, whether or not they're 2 or 3 meters, again, are not extraordinary. So I would have liked to see the applicant speak to the neighbors who had concerns, given the opportunity since April. But regardless of that, I think that this is a supportable application.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just for my part as well, I think I was here for the previous application when it came in, and there were certainly, the concerns were a little more justified then. I think given some of the changes, and the changes overall, each one of the changes may appear minor, but I think collectively they do add up to a reasonable number of significant changes. And to Ms. Chan's point about the differences in terms of setback between the ground floor and the second floor, and then of course the third floor is contained well within the roof structure, which is also has angular planes that diminish the massing effect. While Ms. Chan was asking about the 2 other properties up the road, I was looking at the same image, and my question would have been to Ms. Romano the same question, comparatively, how different are those properties to their proposal? And if I look at number 248, there's a house to the south of it that looks substantially, or very much in about the same size as the one at 248. So what we are seeing is a change in some of the dimensions of the older properties that have fairly large lots. So I think it is a supportable application at this point. So perhaps we'll look for a motion and see where we go with this one.
Sure.
Mr. Bissonnette, thank you.
I'll make a motion to support the variances as requested. I don't think there are any conditions here.
No, I don't see any either. Okay,
Motion to support variances.
thank you. Do we have a seconder? Mr. Gogan, thank you. We have a motion to approve with no conditions, moved by Mr. Bissonnette, seconded by Mr. Gogan. All those in favor? Thank you. Mr. Romano, you have your approval. Thank you.
3, Mr. Chair, does anyone need a 5 or 10-minute break? 10-minute break?
Yeah, perhaps.
Okay,
Thank you.
10-minute break. Please turn off your videos, microphones. Thank you.
And we'll be back.
And we'll just mute the room as well.
All set? Okay, you ready? And we're back with item number 10. Item number 10 is 48 Ashdale Avenue. Purpose of the application is to alter the existing two-story semi-detached dwelling by constructing a rear one-story addition with a deck. The existing rear one-story addition will be demolished. We have before us 6 variances, and the committee had before it a copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 2 photographs of the subject property, covering letter from the agent, presentation materials from the agent, and 6 form letters in support from owner occupants of 40, 44, 45, 50 Ashdale Avenue and 43 and 45 Kent Avenue. Okay.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have the agent online to speak.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Hatch.
Representing 48 Ashdale, 6 Bishop Street, Toronto, Ontario, M5R 1 and 2.
Did we get your name? I missed the first part.
Jonathan Hatch.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Mr. Hatch, this is a fairly, even though you've got 6 variances before us, I think each one are fairly minimal from what I can see. Let me see if my colleagues require either presentation or may have some questions for you before we proceed. Any questions, colleagues? No?
Perhaps I have one really quick one.
No problem.
The variance number 5, is that existing stair?
So this is, no, it's not. This is a proposed deck, but the majority of the deck is only 2 risers from grade. And so there is a landing to get into the house, but so we just proposed, because it's so close to grade, a wider stair, so that we don't need railings. We can just step down to grade.
That's why I was looking at it, so I couldn't quite get it. But thank you. That's why you have to have this variance.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? No? I do have one quick one, if I may. The photograph, I believe, I'm just looking at which photograph it is. Photograph of the rear. I think it's the second photograph. Seems to, the one that's got some snow coverage, which we'll be expecting soon enough. Doesn't show any soft landscaping, but your site plan does show soft landscaping. First of all, I suppose the site plan is correct. You're going to be introducing. I wonder if we could just tie the application to that site plan as well. Would that be a problem?
Not at all.
We
are trying to increase the soft landscaping.
Terrific, thank you. So we'll tie it to the site plan. Thanks so much. We'll take it into committee now and render a decision. Who would like to run with this one?
Oh, I can take this one, and I looked through all the variances. You're right; they're quite reasonable, and I think they do not create any more negative impact. And this is quite a built-up area, so and they have a few number of supports of the neighbors. So I will put a condition is to tie to the site plan. And other than that, there's no other condition. I would like to have a motion to approve.
Thank you, Ms. Chan. We have a motion to approve, seconded by Mr. Bissonnette. Thank you. All those in favor? Thank you very much. You have your approval, sir. Thank you. Okay. Now we move on to item number 11. Item number 11 is 448 O'Connor Drive. Purpose of the application to construct a new 2-story detached dwelling, a duplex, with an integral garage, a front porch with stairs, a side east ground floor deck with stairs, a rear covered ground floor deck with stairs and a rear basement patio. There'll be a total of 2 residential dwelling units on this lot. Pardon me. The committee had before it copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, covering a letter from the owners, an arborist report, owner email correspondence, and with ravine and natural features, tree protection plan, and we also have staff reports from urban forestry. There's 2 from urban forestry and 1 from TRCA. We also have 6 form letters in support, signed by owner occupants of 442, 444, 446, 452, 455, and 463 O'Connor Drive. Okay.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have the agent for the item online to speak.
Thank you. Good morning.
Mr. Chair.
Hi, good morning. It's
Committee
still
members.
morning. Name and address, please.
Gabriel Guiducci from 269 St. John's Road. I'm the agent for this applicant.
Thank you, Mr. Guiducci. Let me just say, we don't have, it doesn't look like we need a presentation.
No.
Any questions for the agent? No?
Nope.
Only
He wants to address something he wants.
Was there something that you'd like to add?
Yeah, no, I do agree with your decision. I did notice a few reports from Ravine and Forestry and TRCA. On the TRCA and we have already received an approval. It has not been submitted as it was received literally this morning. As well as Ravine has no comments, but we do agree with Forestry condition number 2. That's about it. I just wanted to make sure that that was clear on everybody's end. Thank you.
Thank you for that. You're right. This is a fairly straightforward application. You have 2 variances, both minor. So we'll take it into committee for a decision. Thank you.
Yeah,
Would like to take this one?
Yeah, motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Bissonnette.
And it was forestry conditions, I see here, 2.
Thank you.
So, through
Do
you,
we have a
Mr. Chair,
second then?
there's urban forestry and then natural ravine. So urban forestry number 2, natural ravine.
Ravine have no
number 1.
conditions.
Wasn't it number
No,
1?
there's no
No,
conditions.
no
Yeah, they already responded. Yeah, there's no conditions.
No, if you,
Yeah, if you look at the file.
oh, sorry, yes, you're correct. Thank you.
Okay. So we have a motion on the floor. Moved by
I will
Mr.
second that.
Bissonnette, seconded by Ms. Chen.
Yeah.
All those in favor? Thank you. You have your approval, sir. Thank you. Pardon me. Moving on to item number 12 is number 12 Clarendon Avenue. Purpose of the application is to alter the existing 3-story detached dwelling by enclosing the existing rear second floor balcony into a habitable space. We have a single variance to be considered. The committee had before it copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans and elevations, 5 photographs of the subject property, covering letter from the agent. We also have a decision number affecting the subject property, and we have 2 form letters in support signed by owners occupants of 10 and 14 Clarendon Avenue. Okay. And we have the agent, Matt Clemens, are you there? Mr. Clemens, are you there?
Hello, Mr. Chairman.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, good morning, and members of the committee, good morning.
Hi, name and address, please.
My name is Matt Klymans of CGL Architects, and our address is 156 Avenue Road.
Thank you. This is a very complex application you're presenting
Yes.
us with. So unless there are questions from my colleagues, or if you'd like to add something before we move into committee.
I do have a question to this complex application. With my package, maybe I'm the only one, I do not have the package or the drawings.
Yeah,
So
you're right.
you do not need to have drawings for this application?
This one was one that I flagged as well because I noticed there were no plan drawings.
There are drawings, of course. There's plans. We'll have the presenter show those plans.
Oh, it's not in our package. We have a survey, that's it.
They're in my set as well.
You know, if I may, I think when we've got the first downloads, which was I think on Friday last week, the plans were not there.
But it's part of
I
the
think-
supplemental package.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think once the package was merged, it's
Yeah.
now in there.
The merged package
The
has it.
merged package has
Okay,
it.
thank you. Yeah, you answered my question.
Yeah, we had some technical issues last week, so that
Okay.
was, okay. Any questions for, Ms. Chan, do you have any questions?
No, I'm ready for a motion.
You want to move a motion?
Yeah,
Wonderful, thank you.
Yeah, I think with reasonable requests and it's moderate increase in FSI. So I like to move for approval with no conditions. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Do we have to, usually sometimes we enclose the front porch, do we need to tie to the ground floor plan?
We could do
or
that.
Site plan, yeah.
Let's find the plan.
I do not know
I'm trying to see which one it is.
So we tie to the site plan or ground floor plan?
Through you, Mr. Chair, do you need to tie it to a plan if?
No?
Not really.
Yeah, because I haven't looked at it.
I don't think so.
Yeah, okay. So it's okay. I want to double check. That's still the motion to approve.
Thank you very much. Do we have a seconder? Mr. Bissonnette, thank you. All those in favor? Thank you. You have your approval, sir. Thank you. Okay. We move on to item number 13, 71 Parkview Hill Crescent. Purpose of the application is to alter the existing two-story detached dwelling by constructing a front two-story addition, including a basement extension below, with a new front porch with stairs. We have before us 5 variances, and the committee had before it copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations. Pardon me. 3 photographs of the subject property, a TRCA clearance prepared by Alex Huang, the planner. We also have a red line public notice received September 12th, revised site plan, floor plans, and elevations, covering letter from the agent. We have staff reports from Urban Forestry, and we also have staff report from Community Planning. And we have a 5-signature petition in support, signed by owners and occupants of 73, 69, 79 Parkview Hill Crescents. That's it. Okay.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have the agent online to speak.
Good morning.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. Name and address, please.
Perfect. This is Franco Spagnolo, Studio Spagnolo, Inc., 911 Chippenham Drive, Mississauga, L5H3S6.
Thank you. Mr. Spagnolo, let me just see. I don't believe we have, oh, we do have folks in opposition. No, sorry, yours doesn't have anybody in opposition. Let me see if my colleagues have any questions or would like a presentation, and then we'll just go through the red line notice items that are requiring correction.
Okay.
Thank you. Yep, Mr. Gogan?
Some some of the variances are based upon existing conditions, correct? Like front yard setback?
Sorry, I couldn't hear that.
Sorry, some of the, like variance number 4, your front yard setback, that's primarily due to an existing condition, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So basically, this is the addition is to accommodate a wheelchair lift and a ramp and a vestibule. And the front yard is actually because there's a storage below that's taken to the steps of the new porch. The envelope of the existing building, there's no changes to the sides or the rear. So yeah, because of the skewed lot as well, the front property line is on an angle. It does create the variances, especially for 2, 3, and 4.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions at this point? No? I should have asked from the beginning let's make the corrections to the variances. So if you don't mind, could we just go through variance number 1? Any changes to that?
No changes to any of the variances except for number 5. I dealt with the planning last week, and if there is a updated drawing on the updated plans, the only drawing that has changed is 2B, which shows the front yard landscaping. We increased it slightly. We added a patch on the north side there. And we also indicated that we are going to use permeable pavers just to allow for better drainage at the front. Other than that, the existing driveway is in existing condition since the 90s, but we did increase it. So only number 5 has changed.
Thank you.
The numbers.
Variance number 5, just correct me if I'm not mistaken, you've now increased it to 36%. 34.24 square meters?
Correct.
Thank you. Previously, I had noted for my own notes that variance number 4 had also changed, but I think the correct number is now reflected in the variance before me. It's 4.06 meters. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you. So it's just that one item that's being amended. Thank you. All right. Anybody have any questions at this point? No? Okay. We'll take it into committee and come forth with a decision for you. Okay. This is a red line item. It's got 5 fairly minor variances from what I can see. So I don't believe this application has any problems as such. There is a planning condition that construction be substantially in accordance with drawings number 2B, I believe, and that's the front yard landscaping.
It's 2, yeah, it's 2.
Planning condition number 1.
Is it, sorry, forestry number 1, is it?
Through you,
I
Mr.
don't
Chair,
have
it's
that.
ravine and natural features. I think that submitted the report.
They have no condition.
I know
No
ours.
condition.
They have no condition.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I think it's only the planning condition that's there for sure.
yeah,
Yes.
it's 2B drawing. Yeah.
Okay. Anybody like to?
Yeah, I move. Yeah, I agree. And that's actually it is an irregular lot, and also this setbacks and numbers is triggered by the angles and the curve of the lots. Anyway, so I consider all this minor and will not have negative impact. So I'd like to move for approval with the conditions that will substantially according to drawing 2B and as amended for approval.
Thank you. Perfect.
Yes,
Thank
through you, Mr. Chair. I know the planning staff report states September 11th date, but
Yes.
it's September 12th.
September 12th. Right.
September 12th.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Chan. Do we have a seconder? Mr. Bissonnette, thank you very much. All those in favor of the amended application? Thank you. We have unanimous approval. Thank you, sir. You have your approval. Okay, moving on to item number 14. Okay. Moving on to item number 14, pardon me. Item number 14 is 47. Oops. That's a little bit of lightning, that's okay. Item number 14 is 47 Cloverdale Road. Purpose of the application to alter the existing one-story ancillary building, a detached garage in the rear yard abutting Cloverdale Road by constructing a complete second-story addition to contain one garden suite. There will be a total of 2 residential dwellings on this lot, 1 unit within the main dwelling and 1 unit within, within the ancillary building, and 2 parking spaces within the altered ancillary building. We have before us 5 variances requested, and the committee had before it the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans and elevations, 8 photographs of the subject property, a covering letter from the agent, and we also have correspondence in opposition from 1 individual with no address provided. Thank you.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have the agent online to speak, and we have 4 registered speakers for the item, all online.
Thank you. Mr. Calais, or Kaye, I'm not sure which, if you can
Hello?
correct me. Good morning.
Yes, hello. Sorry, I didn't. Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, this is Jonathan Kale.
Your name and address, please.
Jonathan Kale, 1870 St. Clair Avenue West.
Thank you very much. Since we have some folks in opposition, could you provide us with a 5-minute presentation, please? Or less.
Okay, definitely will do.
Thank you.
Okay, so today we're applying to convert this existing garage into a garden suite for the property at 47 Cloverdale Road. We're here for 5 variances. I'm going to speak to them right now. So for the first 2 variances, they're related with the side yard setback, with the east yard setback of 0.26 meter. And we're asking for a relief of 1.24 meters. And for the west side yard setback, we are proposing a 0.07 meter with a relief of 5.93 meters. We are trying to fit with the existing structure of the existing garage, since we are keeping that, and trying to maximize the floor space that we can provide. Well, now for the next, for points 3 and 4, they are somewhat related. Point 3 is for the setback between the existing dwellings and proposed garden suite. We are proposing for a 5.13 setback, asking for a relief of 2.29 meters. And for variance 4 is for the height. We are proposing for a 6.29 meter height. We are asking for a relief of 2.29 meters. For these 2 points, I would like to point out that the examiner is measuring from the existing shed. That's how we got the setback difference. But if we were to remove that shed, it would be a setback of 6.3 meters from the sunroom, and from the actual house itself, it will be a 9.27 meter setback. And for the last point is the max coverage. We are proposing at 76.43 meters, asking for relief of 16.43 meters. Again, this is because we are trying to use the existing structure and maximize the amount of space that we are able to get from this proposal. I'd like to thank you, the committee, and the committee of adjustment staff for their time and patience. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I do have just one quick question. So the proposed addition, is that sitting directly on top of the existing garage, same footprint?
Yes. Yes, that's the reason for the setbacks, because especially for the side yard setbacks, because we would like to place it on top of the existing.
Thank you very much. Let me just see if we do have one more question from Ms. Chan for you.
Yes, my question is like, you only adding 1 floor, right, to the existing garage, right? You have 3, a second floor, you have 2 bedrooms, and 1 office is like 3 bathrooms.
Well, the thing is, this is something that the owner had wanted.
Single tenants,
Yes,
or
sorry.
it's a multi-tenant rental?
It's a single tenant rental. They just wanted to have like 2 bedrooms with their separate washrooms for privacy. But if that can be easily adjusted to just 1 washroom and 2 bedrooms.
Well, it's just a small structure, and it's a floor plan, and then 3 bathrooms seems to be when it's intended for a multi-tenant rental? Is it?
No, no. This is for, I guess, a single family in this case. But definitely we can remove one of the washrooms, keep the powder room and the bedroom. And the bed, one bathroom for the 2 bedrooms.
Anyway, I think we'll go to the folks in opposition and then come back to the agent. Thank you. We do have some folks, are they all online?
Through you, Mr. Chair, yes, all the speakers are online. We'll start with the first opposition speaker representing 26 Prior Avenue.
Thank you very much. Mr. Ferreira, are you there?
And members and staff of the committee. My name is Anna Cabral, and I'm here as agent for Antonio Ferreira, 26 Prior Avenue, Toronto M6N1M4.
Thank you. You're speaking on behalf of the Ferreira family, I take it?
That's correct. Mr. Antonio is hard of hearing, and he cannot speak proper English.
No problem. Thank you very much for being there. You've got 5 minutes to make your case. Thank you.
So the variances being sought are not minor and not in the public interest and will greatly impact on the neighbors in the vicinity and their use and enjoyment of their properties. 47 Cloverdale is the tallest building in the neighborhood. It is the first in the row of 10 houses with a right-of-way over the subject laneway in the back of the building, which would be impacted by the building of a garden or a laneway suite. There are already significant issues with respect to accessing the garages of these 10 residential homes through that back laneway. Some of the 10 houses are multi-unit homes. And in order to provide some insight, both Cloverdale and Prior Avenue, which are perpendicular roadways, sorry, just
no problem.
They have many of those homes do not have private garages, which means there's always issues with parking along Cloverdale as well as Prior. 47 Cloverdale is not currently a single residential dwelling, and the owners do not reside there. There are 2 to 3 tenanted dwelling units in the main building. And there's also the issue that in the current garage, the owner operates an auto repair business, whereas the proposed suite will be built upon. This can create potential fire hazard issues as well as fire and building code violations. Further, the proposed entrance to the garden or laneway suite can create a blind spot for those driving into that shared driveway along the back, which in turn creates a safety risk for the potential tenants. And basically, overall, what is in essence being requested is a rooming house, and the requested variances and the building of a garden or laneway suite are not an appropriate development in the area in question. Those are my submissions. Thank you, committee and Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much for that. It's quite informative. Let me just see if colleagues have any questions for you at this point. No? Okay. Seeing none, thank you so much. And we'll get the agent to respond to your concerns. Thank you. Moving on to the next person.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we will move on to the speaker in opposition from 28 Prior Avenue.
Thank you. Hello, good morning, Mr. Dykhoff.
Hear me okay?
Yes, we can. Name and address, please.
Tyler Dykhoff at 28 Prior Avenue. I'd also flag that I'm the person who submitted the pictures in opposition, and I do apologize for not adding my address directly to that.
No problem. Please go ahead. You have 5 minutes.
Thank you. So I'm the owner of 28 Prior, which is the direct abutting property to 47 Cloverdale. We also share a private laneway, as the previous speaker noted. Dealing first with the nature of 47 Cloverdale, as the prior speaker noted, The foundation of the application is respectfully untrue. 47 Cloverdale has been presented to you as a single residential unit inhabited by the applicants. That is not the case. There is somewhere between 3 and 5 units respectfully crammed into that residence, and the applicants do not live here as their primary residence. And while I appreciate we are not here today to enforce bylaws of that nature, I do think it is an important point to note. This is not a single family home looking to add a garden suite. This place has multiple units in a neighborhood where our properties are already basically on top of one another. Moving on to how the proposed structure will impact my residence and my family's right to privacy, I do urge you to take a look at the photos I've submitted of our respective property lines, specifically page 2 with the pictures. Because what you'll see is that we are quite literally living shoulder to shoulder as it is. And this proposed structure, if approved with its second level, will tower over my entire backyard, which I consider to be an intrusion on my family's privacy, not to mention the fact that there has been no sun or shade study or any consultation, quite frankly, done to assess the impact of this structure on my property. Even more concerning is that if approved with the height of this structure, the inhabitants will have a clear view through their windows, their south-facing windows, to view directly over my entire backyard, as well as through my kitchen window and glass patio door, which will give them a clear sight of my entire first floor because it's open concept. As if that's not bad enough, the proposed height of the structure and the angles of these properties are such that if approved, their south-facing windows will quite literally be staring in my 3-year-old son's bedroom, as well as into our only functioning bathroom and shower. That being the case, to approve this structure would be to, quite frankly, eliminate my family's right to privacy. And I'm very concerned about my minor children being exposed to being watched in the most intimate of settings. Moving on to the property more generally, as the prior speaker noted, there is a private laneway behind the property. It is shared between approximately 10 other residents. Due to timing restrictions today, I'll just defer to and adopt what the prior speaker said on the laneway. However, suffice it to say the inhabitants of 47 Cloverdale, as it is, the laneway is already packed with cars, somewhere between 5 and 7 on any given day. The proposal with an entrance onto our laneway will impinge on our right to use the space. And in fact, it is a safety concern because where they are proposing to put the main entrance to the garden suite is directly next to my property line and my garage in a blind spot that exists. So I won't be able to leave my garage knowing whether someone is or isn't there. It's incredibly unsafe. Moving on to the structure itself, as you know, to obtain approval today, the applicants have to convince you that the proposed variances are minor. And I do appreciate the word minor is not defined. However, I do urge you to consider the dimensions that are being proposed. So dealing first with the minimum required setbacks, specifically variances 1 and 2, the minimum required setback is 1.5 meters. They want to decrease it to 0.26 on the east lot line and 0.07 meters on the west line. That is an increase, or rather decrease, of 83% and 99% respectively. And I trust you'd agree with me that those percentages are not minor in scope. Moving on to the height of the structure, the maximum permitted height is 4 meters, yet they are proposing a height of 6.2 meters. That's variance 3, which is a 57% increase in height, an increase which, as I've noted, would allow the inhabitants to stare directly into my son's bedroom and our bathroom. And finally, with respect to the total coverage area of the structure, the City of Toronto states the total coverage area cannot exceed 60 meters square, yet they are proposing 76.43 meters square in variance 5 on a property that's already jammed full of units and in an area where the houses are literally on top of one another effectively. That's a 27% increase in the garden unit's allowable size. And, I'll stop there because I think you get the point. Suffice it to say increases or decreases of upwards of 99% simply cannot be deemed to be minor. This is respectfully a behemoth of a structure they are proposing that I would submit is in no way in keeping with the City of Toronto's bylaws and the official plan, which sets strict limits on the sizing of these spaces with only allowances for minor variances to avoid this kind of structure from being introduced and ruining the character, enjoyment, and use of our residential area. Subject to any questions you folks may have, those are my submissions, and thank you for hearing me.
Thank you for a very concise presentation. Thank you very much. Let me just see if my colleagues have any questions for you at this point. Seeing none, thank you. We'll wait for the agent to provide responses. Who's our next speaker?
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have the opposition speaker from 42 Silverthorne Avenue.
Thank you. Good morning. Is that
Yes, hi,
Ada
good evening.
Jeffrey? Hi, good morning.
Yes.
Name and address,
Morning,
please.
hi. Ada Jeffrey, 42 Silverthorne Avenue.
Hi, good morning.
So,
You've got 5 minutes.
morning. So okay, got it. Yeah, so Silverthorne Avenue, we all live very close together. I defer and adopt the submissions of my neighbors as well. I agree that these are not minor variances. These are very major variances. And my primary concern comes from the fact that this very large building, essentially a commercial structure with, 3 small rooms, 3 bedrooms, essentially a rooming house is being built right next to the children's park, which is, it's very, very frequently used. And the alleyway that is going to now be a lot busier with all of these additional people renting these spaces is going to create a potential hazard for children who are going to be using that park, who might, run out because the play structure is right beside that driveway that goes, that is going to be right behind all of those houses. So with increasing the traffic, increasing the difficulty for any of those neighbors on Cloverdale who are going to be trying to get in and out of their garages, all competing for space, and then having a lot more people living there, I think there's going to be a lot higher risk for blind spots for people coming out when there's toddlers, a few feet away. So that's my major concern. I also think that it's not in keeping with the neighborhood as a family-oriented neighborhood, and introducing the space that's essentially commercial in nature, even though you call one of the rooms an office, when it's still sort of functioning as, several independent units, is not in keeping with the character. It's going to be very large. It's going to be looming over the park. It's going to create more congestion for those people who park on the street. Many of our neighbors don't have private parking, so they'll sort of rely on that space. Again, I don't believe that the way that this is structured is necessarily an addition for a family. And other than that, yes, I adopt and defer to the submissions of my neighbors as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions for this person? No? Okay, moving on. Do we have any others? One more?
Through you, Mr. Chair, yes, we have one more speaker in interest representing 18 Prior Avenue.
Thank you. Mr. Wright, are you there?
Thank you. I'd like to say,
Name and address,
yes, I am
please.
here. Yeah, James Wright, 18 Prior Avenue.
Thank you. You've got 5 minutes to make your presentation.
Thank you very much.
Sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time. The previous speakers have spoken to a lot of the similar points that I have. So I'm going to make some brief highlights that encompass what our objective is here. The structure being put into place, one, is being misrepresented as a single-family dwelling. It is indeed a 2+1 bedroom unit that could house 3 separate tenants. And given the status of the multi-dwelling in the main structure of the building, which currently has 3+ units in it, potentially up as many as 5, with multiple residents, is already exacerbating the parking within the area and safety concerns within the rear laneway, as previously stated by other speakers. Cloverdale and Prior Avenue are both already exacerbated in way of parking for street parking. And as a result, the current tenants residing in 47 Cloverdale are already using the rear laneway as a overflow parking, which at any given time, there's between 5 and 7 cars parked in our rear laneway where we hold a right-of-way, all the other 10 residents that share the laneway. With regards to the main building, the current entryway that opens directly into oncoming traffic is a major safety concern, not only for the tenants in question who will be renting that space, but for the people who operate out of the mechanic shop, which is being applied in the lower 2 garages, which would not be able to be used as a parking space. it holds a huge safety hazard for any of the oncoming traffic and going traffic. That happens very frequently during the day. The mechanic shop that's operating within the two garage units are propose a huge safety hazard to anyone living above it. And I would urge the board and the committee to review the safety concerns regarding specifically fire safety of the above proposed dwelling. That pretty much speaks to all the points. I don't think I have anything else to add here, in addition to what the previous speakers have presented. And I think that's where we need to, that's my submission. If you guys have any questions, feel free.
Thank you. I'll just ask my colleagues if anybody has any questions. No? No, thank you very much. We'll let the agent provide some feedback. Thank you. Is that it with all the speakers? Wonderful.
Through you, Mr. Chair, yes, that is all the speakers for this item. The agent is now back and has been unmuted.
Mr. Callahy, you've heard all
Yes,
the concerns. Can you provide some feedback in 5 minutes, please?
Sure, not a problem, thank you. I'd like to first of all thank the comments of the fellow neighborhood. I appreciate and respect their comments. And towards their comments, what I'd like to say is that the owners do live at that property. There is no mechanic shop located there. What the owner has been told, he does the mechanic for his own use. So there's no official shop. He actually has a shop that's located in Rogers Street, not sure, but the name of the shop is Jimmy's Auto Repair. And then for the variances, I do understand they're not minor in nature, but we are just trying to match the existing structure. That's the reason we're trying to get this. And secondly, this, to what the owner has provided and told me, and to what city obviously have to know, this is a one single unit. And then the proposal is one single unit as well. We're not proposing for any more units of that sort. And in terms of the privacy for the neighboring property, we actually have no windows on that side. The closest window towards that side of the property is about 8 feet. No, sorry, give me 8 feet, 10 inches, which can be removed or moved more farther away from that side. And in terms of access to the garage, to the other garages, it's been like that, and we're not adding nothing more, and we're not changing anything from the existing coverage of the property. And in terms of the sun, I believe the sun rises from west to east, so it goes horizontally through the property, which should not affect the sunlight, much of the sunlight from the existing neighborhood. And in terms of that, I think that's about it. I'm not sure if I missed anything, and if I did, I apologize. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me just see if my colleagues have any questions for you. Mr. Gogan, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your presentation. Just to confirm, so the owner is the occupant of that building, of the.
Yes.
Okay, and then
Yes,
there's no
they
commercial
live there.
business being run out of that
No.
accessory building. Okay.
No, it's like I said, it's Jimmy Auto Shop. His address is 642 Rogers Road, Toronto, Ontario.
Okay.
So it's close to that house.
Okay. No, thank you.
Any other questions, concerns?
Yeah,
Mr. Bissonnette? Okay.
Let me try that again.
Hello?
Right, Mr. Bissonnette?
I'm worried that we're gonna get that feedback again. Yeah, I just, in addition to my colleagues' questions, is why would so many people in your neighborhood, in that neighborhood, assert that, one, it's a rooming house, and two, there's a commercial business there? I don't understand the disconnect. If you're saying the owners live there and there's no business, but we've had several neighbors make that claim. Do you have any explanation or rationale for that?
What the owner has provided me was that he does do maintenance work on cars that he owns, and I guess they assume because he's a mechanic and he has his shop close to there, that he might be doing some work there. That's the only thing that comes to my mind. Other than that, I can't say.
Okay, Ms. Chan, any questions, any thoughts?
No.
No?
Yeah, we have some thought.
Okay. Yeah, I also have some concerns about the accuracy of the responses. The folks that have made presentations, I think 2 out of the 3 maybe, or 3 out of the 4, have noted that the garage is being used for commercial purposes. And when you go into Google Street View, I counted 5 vehicles outside, 2 of which look like they're requiring repair. So it's not just a personal vehicle that's being addressed by the looks of it, but there are 5 vehicles. Now, that does present a problem. And if you've got residents living directly above, there is a hazard, because in the summertime, I can understand somebody being out in the driveway doing work, but in the wintertime, chances are you're on the inside. And there are hazards that are potentially there. The other piece that I'm a little concerned about is, my colleague asked about the number of bathrooms. You've got 3 bathrooms in a very small space, and the question of whether it's going to be a rooming house, multiple tenants, as opposed to a single family perhaps, or a couple, and one is distinctly an office. So that's a little concern. I'm not sure if you've got any responses to my thoughts and concerns.
Well, towards the Google Maps, I mean, this is what the owner has told me, and like he said, he does some work during the summertime. I don't think he does anything in the wintertime, but that's something that he would have to confirm for himself. And then for the second question that you had told me about the washrooms, we decided, because this is the owner had thought about the future, about putting probably his grandkids or children up there to live when they come to university. So that's why we wanted to keep it a bit private. But again, like I said, it does look like from your like a rooming house, but that's not the intention of this application at all. And well, that's about it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Just one.
All right, Mr. Gogan's got a question for you.
Sorry, just one last thing. Did you do any consultation with the neighbors in advance of this hearing?
Yes, we did go around the neighborhood, but not many neighbors wanted to speak to us. I did go, no one really answered the door, so.
Okay. Thank you.
I mean, this was during the process of committee, not before the design or anything was done.
Just another quick one that came to my mind. You mentioned one of the neighbors is the immediate neighbor next door is concerned about windows, overlook. Now, what direction is that one? Because I'm trying to look at your drawings.
Oh, the window that's overlooking would be in the second story, right by the stairs.
What compass direction is that? South?
That would be south, yes. So it's the window.
The south elevation shows 2 windows on the top level.
Yes.
One window at the
there's 2
bottom, and
windows.
there's a door.
Yes. Oh, excuse me. No, that's the other one. Sorry, excuse me. That's the north. Should be the north elevation.
So do you know which one it is?
Yes, it is this one. Excuse me. It is the north elevation. So there's 2 doors, and the closest window, as you can see, would be about 8 feet 10 inches.
And those are the ones that the neighbor is concerned about as having potential overlook.
Yeah, the 2 right there. So the first one would be 8 feet 10 inches away from the exterior side of the wall.
So if the committee decides to approve a condition that those be produced with opaque glass, would that work for you?
That's fine.
Okay, thank you. That's if the committee decides that, they may or not. Thank you so very much. We'll take it into committee and look for a decision. Thank you. Okay, who wants to
I'll add some
start?
comments.
Mr. Gogan, thank you.
So first of all, this is an extraordinarily large garage for this residential property. It's a very interesting property. And so I don't find the variances, if this was a normal size residential property with a garage, these wouldn't be extraordinary requests. But given the size of the garage and the impact on the neighborhood and the laneway, and some questions about the use of the space, which we can't address here, I just find that the additional square footage being asked for and the massing of this thing to be extraordinary, and don't really support it because it's a very large structure that does and also the height they're asking for is pretty extraordinary. makes this a very large element in this block. So I don't know what the solution is because of the existing structure is such a big footprint, but I generally don't support adding the second story across the entire building because of the impact on the adjacent neighbors and some questions around the use of the garage itself. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other thoughts, Mr. Bissonnette?
I'm just worried about feedback again, okay?
I can hear it a little bit already.
So I agree partially and disagree partially with my colleague. I do think this is a good location for a laneway suite. Can everyone else mute their mics maybe? Yeah. Thank you. I don't see the footprint changing and think it maintains clear access to the alleyway. And it's a reasonable and appropriate form of intensification. I just think if the intent is to actually accommodate an extended family within a multi-generational home, it's supportable to me, but I have concerns regarding the neighbor's comments. And it's suggesting that the application contains inaccuracies. So, the agent said it's that the owners live in the home and they don't have a business there, but he also didn't seem 100% sure. He said that the owner would have to assert that for himself. So I do have concerns. I find the overall proposal to be supportable, but I'm wavering here in terms of what the intended use is. Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you, Mr. Bissonnette. Ms. Chan, any thoughts?
Oh, I think he said everything I was I'm thinking about. In terms of the site and all, it is good. I think it's appropriate site for Laneway Street, but on the part that we cannot really rule on is any kind of property people can abuse the use. Even currently, you're not supposed to park 5 cars around the building, but then they do, right? And then be going on like that. So I'm just waiting. I do agree also that what they're asking for in terms of the zoning allows is extensive, but I also want to point out that sometimes it's not about number and figures. Sometimes it's the intent of the zoning bylaw is to have a garden suite or laneway suite is to moderately increase residential use to the structure, right? So I think that this is being used not in too much in line with the bylaw because it's the number of bathrooms that it seems to be intended for multi-tenant rental or use, and with an office. I'm not too sure you can, if it's a commercial office, whether it's related to the operation on the ground floor or not.
Maybe,
I'll add one more comment. So again, I remind ourselves that we're only really to respond to the variances requested, which I think is important because there's a lot of context here. But I do find that the additional height requested and the additional coverage of 160 square feet or whatever the total is, it does have an impact on the context of the neighborhood. So that's the basis of my kind of resistance, not supporting the application. While I find the other first few minor, really in 1 and 2 really relatively minor, I think that the specifics, I think really the variances that for height and area increase are the ones I have the biggest problem with. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm just going to come out of committee and ask Sabrina questions related to the concerns that people have expressed about the use of the garage below for commercial purposes. What recourse do neighbors have? Like, what are they able to do?
Through you, Mr. Chair, they can contact 311 and have an inspector go out to the site and inspect the situation.
And that would apply to the vehicles that are sitting outside and,
To any concerns that
Any
they may
concerns.
have on private property.
because that's not within our purview at all. We've
Right.
got, as Mr. Gogan's pointed out, we've got the variances in front of us, and
Yes.
that's what we're dealing
Yes.
with.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Go back into committee, and I think for my part as well, I think the excessive coverage, I think that is problematic. The other issues, as we've discussed, are beyond our scope here. The height is again a little bit more than I think we would like, but given the location, it's possibly possible. So again, I think it's a possible supportable application. I think we're all having a little challenge with this particular one.
I can try motions.
Sure, let's go for it. And
All right, I'll make a motion, motion to approve the requested variances, all of them 1 through 5.
thank you. Mr. Bissonnette has given us a motion to approve with no conditions attached. Are there any seconders? No? Okay, sorry, Mr. Bissonnette, that one drops by the wayside. Do we have a alternate motion on the floor?
Yeah, sorry.
Mr.
Yeah,
Gogan?
I'll go the other way here. I'll make a motion that we reject this application. My primary reason would be the requested height and requested coverage, and the resulting kind of the other three are primarily existing conditions as a relationship with the existing building. But all 5 combined result in it, so I propose that we reject this application.
Thank you, Mr. Gogan. Do we have a seconder? Ms. Chan seconds the motion. All those in favor to refuse? Okay. It's 3-1. Your application has been refused, sir. Thank you. All right, moving on to item number 15 is number 1, Durie Street. The purpose of the application is to construct a new 3-story detached dwelling with a covered front porch, a rear ground floor balcony, and rear rooftop decks on the 2nd and 3rd stories. Committee had before it a copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans, and elevations, 4 photographs of the subject property, of the front of the subject property, and 3 photographs of the rear of the subject property.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have the agent online to speak, and we have 2 registered speakers.
Thank you. Mr. Rafiq, are you there? Hello, Mr. Rafiq?
Yes, my name is Premier Rafiq from Lucid Homes. I am representing the owner, and I'm the agent to speak on his behalf today.
And your address, please.
443 Highside Drive in Milton.
Terrific, thank you. We'll need a presentation because we have a couple of folks in opposition.
Yes, no problem. So we have 4 variances here today. I would like to briefly address the first 3, and then the 4th one I'll elaborate a little bit more. So number 1, we have, I'm going to go in different order here. One of the items is soft landscaping percentage that we're exceeding from 53.9 that is proposed, whereas 75% is required. I'd like to point out that we have a grandfathered driveway that's been existing for a long time, and it's been there from the previous owner. So there's no intention to change that. We hope that we can remain that. I'd like to also point out that we have, in case this poses a grading issue, professional engineers on board that will address any grading concerns and make sure that it's suitable. So the next two items are related to setback. The setback, I'm going to address them combined as one because they both are related to the same setback on the same side. One is for the building wall and one is for the balcony. We have a setback of 0.6 meters, a setback of 0.6 meters, whereas 0.9 is required. Can I ask you to go to the plans and this site plan here? If you don't mind zooming in here. Yes. So the setback is actually on the side that's at the bottom there. It shows 0.6 meters. We have no building adjacent to that because that's the backyards for the lots that are on that side of the wall. So the closest building is very far away. On the other side, we have a setback that has been increased. On the side that is adjacent to the house, we have a side setback that's been increased. That's, I hope that that's considered in the decision. The fourth item that I want to discuss, which is the last one, I'd like to elaborate a little bit more. This one is related to the floor space index. What we're asking for is a floor space index of 0.99, whereas 0.6 is required. And with this, I'd like to highlight that we have 3 developments that share a property line with the subject property. One of them is the one to the left, which is the immediately adjacent house. And the other 2 are at the bottom there, which have their backyard property lines shared with us. Those 2 have there's 2 properties there that have a floor space index of 1.56 and 1.69. Which are 36 and 38 Morningside. The one that's adjacent on the other side, the neighboring property, is a structure that's very similar in character, and we actually use those numbers as a guide in terms of the zoning numbers for our proposal. The next thing is that we have 4 houses immediately across the street that are also exactly the same conceptually. And as you drive down Durie Street, you'll see the same pattern over and over and over again of houses that have variances for 3 stories and have variances for floor space index. And with that being said, I think that we have a clear trend that is observable in an evolving neighborhood. And the variances that we're asking for already have precedents set immediately adjacent, in the immediate surrounding and an extended surrounding. So I think it's very appropriate for the neighborhood. We hope that we can receive approval from the committee today. And if there's any further questions that you have, I'm happy to address them and answer.
Thank you very much. Let me just see if my colleagues have any questions for you at the moment. If not, we'll come back to you. Any questions at this point? No? Okay, we'll move on to the folks that are here speakers. And
Through you, Mr. Chair, one of the registered speakers we have been unable to connect with, the speaker from 3 Durie Street. So we'll move on to the speaker, Nicholas Singh, in opposition.
thank you. Good morning, Mr. Singh. Oh, it's sorry,
Meeting-
afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. My
Welcome.
name's Nicholas. Sorry, go ahead.
Name and address, please.
Yes, my name is Nicholas Singh. I'm representing the Swansea area ratepayers. I'd like to draw your attention to the context of this application. The applicant just said that this is a evolving neighborhood. In fact, Swansea has been stable for many years, and if this area is evolving, it's because of the approvals that have been passed, and that is not what we should be looking at under the official plan. It would be incorrect to state that it is in transition and the character of the neighborhood should be maintained. Next, I'd like to point to the very steep hill behind the house. All the backyards that you see in the survey drop down the hill as they go east towards Beresford, which is the valley below number 1 Jury, which then towers over and above these neighbors and creates issues of overlook and massing. I'd like to point out that the privacy screenings, if maintained, serve the people on the balconies and decks far better than the surrounding neighborhoods. Secondly, the survey, I guess, well, thank you to the applicant for correcting the context of the application by citing that the current new building at number 3 Jury, the survey labels it as 2-story building. In fact, it's a 3-story building and was approved by the committee on August 30th, 2023. I think it affects the placement of the building and the 4 south yard setbacks in this application, and I stress that there are 4 at this point. So what the developer for number 1 has done is to move the new building away from the north property line and build a new building that encroaches on the south property line, creating the need for 4 south yard setbacks for this building. The ground floor balcony setback, the second floor balcony setback, the third floor balcony setback, and the building itself, all requiring setbacks on the south side. This, of course, addresses the massing issue presented by the new building at 3 Jury, because who wants to have their outdoor decks and platforms either looking at each other or be against the wall next door? As a result, they've moved number 1 Jury south, but also encroached into the south yard setback. This also helps to maintain the oversized FSI of this new building. The problem it creates is that we now have a 3-story building that presents brand new massing issues to the neighbors who've had their backyards abutting this property. They will be greeted by this new 3-story wall with overlook located 0.6 meters from the property line instead of 0.9, in addition to all the extra massing that accompanies the huge departure from the permitted FSI. The proposed FSI pushes this proposal to the very top of the next level of zoning, which is 100% coverage. In Swansea, this zoning is reserved for apartment buildings or areas zoned for apartment buildings, and in itself, this rezoning by minor variance application is not minor. Despite this, if the proposal is going to be approved, what we would like to see is that the second story should be set back from the south side, together with all the platforms, to 0.9 meters from the property line, and the third story should be set back a further meter from the second story. This would alleviate some of the impact of the 3-story wall for the neighbors to the south. I'd also like to see the soft landscaping maintained to help reduce problems with storm runoff and to provide space for future tree canopy front yard gardens that are part of the area's character. In addition, we don't feel that any empirical look at the houses in the neighborhood would find that this building is recognizing and supporting the existing character of the neighborhood. In terms of the test for the official plan and the numbers, they just don't add up. And this building fails the test for maintaining the purpose and intent of the official plan. And by the way, compliance with the official plan was thoroughly tested out at the T-Lab in the appeal for number 3 Jury, which is next door. And as the applicant said, is basically a carbon copy for the number 1 Jury proposal. Initially, the committee had refused number 3 Jury, and the owner appealed to the T-Lab with an amended application. The Swansea area ratepayer successfully opposed that appeal, and the amended plan was eventually withdrawn. It was, however, later approved by this committee on August 30th, 2023. At the T-Lab, we were able to show that the 3-story building design, which is similar to number 1 Jury, did not pass the test for the official plan. So in summary, we recommend that at the very least, this application be amended to include setbacks for the second and third stories away from the south property line that abuts the neighbors' backyards in order to reduce the impact of this new 3-story building. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Singh. Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Singh at this point? No? Okay. Any other speakers, or that was it? Mr. Singh and the person who didn't respond.
Through you, Mr. Chair, that is all the speakers that have been registered and present.
Thank you. Let's go back to Mr. Rafiq. Are you there?
I am here, yes.
Thank you. Can you respond to some of the concerns that Mr. Singh had raised?
Yes, okay. So I made some notes here and I try and address everything respectfully. And the first item was about the evolution of the neighborhood. So I think that the terminology, I'm not sure how much it matters, but what I'm observing is that I actually did this exercise just now as as I was listening to Mr. Singh's points. The house immediately adjacent is a 3-story building. The one across on 2 Durie is 3-story. Now we're skipping one with 4 Durie, and then 6 and 8 is 3 stories again. On the same side, if you go like 3 houses further, there's one on what's this number? I can't encode the number right now. That's a 3-story, and to me it looks like anything. It's very obvious to notice that anything that's built in the last 10 years is a 3-story dwelling, and I would say probably 50% of the homes surrounding this one are newer builds that follow the same concept. So I think it's very clear whether this went through variances or no variances. It's a very clear thing that can be observed. And the next item was about towering over the neighboring properties. I'm not sure if we received any letters of complaints from those neighbors that mostly also have 3-story developments. And also, we're not even asking for height variance. We also, this may address the massing in part 2. We don't have a height. We're not asking for building depth. We're not asking for lot coverage variance. So we tried our best intentionally to respect as many of the other variances that are related to massing. He mentioned steps in the design, which is a good point. It also helps with the massing. It helps with structures appearing like big blocks. I want to point out that we actually do have steps in the rear of this property. We did account for that, and we pushed back as we go higher up into the property on higher stories. He mentioned that the neighboring house is a carbon copy. We actually had conversations with the neighbor and to make sure that we account for as many changes as possible in the design. And and I want to highlight that we didn't use the neighboring property as a copy. We studied the numbers and made sure that we stay within the same ballpark. But it wasn't a copy of that same house. So whether steps in the design are appropriate for the front, I'm looking at all the 3-story homes in the area, and I don't see any of them having a step design where the upper floors are pushed back further than the lower floors on any of them. But nevertheless, we still did that. We still incorporated that feature in the design for the rear to accommodate. I think that's all my points, but I'm happy if there's anything further that I can say in support of this, I'm happy to address.
Thank you, Mr. Rafiq. Let me just see if my colleagues have any questions at this point or any comments that they'd like to add. None? So I do have a couple of questions. I know you've got variance number 4, which is the soft landscaping issue at the front. I think bear with me, I've just got to get to the plan. Your site plan here shows that the proposed walkway at the front, that's going to be permeable. The question I also have is that there's a driveway, and it's an existing, presumably asphalt driveway. Would it be possible for that to be permeable as well? I don't know whether we're planning to dig it up or not, but it would certainly help with water drainage mitigation. Is that something that that your client would be amenable to?
I am very happy to deliver this message to him and note that on the drawings to ensure that the asphalt driveway that's existing should be revised to be permeable now material. I'm very happy to do that.
We could put that in as a condition.
For sure.
Thank you. The other question was related to the second and third floor balconies, the decks at the top. I can't tell from your drawings whether the height is their height on the north and south sides are 1.5 meters, so that they provide some privacy or an overlook issues. Do you know what the height would be on those?
So whatever 1.5 meters, whatever the requirement is, we'll ensure to include that. I'm very happy to have that included as a condition as well. It's also something that, in conversation with the builder, came up. The builder already suggested that, and that's already the intention. I'll make sure that it is highlighted on the drawings to be clear.
So you wouldn't mind if we put in that as a condition as well?
Absolutely not. I'm happy. I am happy if you put that as a condition. I have no issues with that.
Thank you very much. Let me see.
All the
It's
it's elevated, right? The first ground floor.
It's a second floor, third floor for sure.
Yeah.
I can't tell whether the ground floor is also elevated sufficiently that it will provide overlook.
It's quite it's almost a floor.
It's quite high.
Yeah.
Yeah. So perhaps on all three levels, that we have privacy screening on the north and south sides.
Yeah, we will do that. That was already discussed.
Yeah.
But I know it doesn't mean much unless it's on the drawing, so we'll make sure to put it on the drawing.
Yeah, and we can add it as a condition as well, so that would work well. Okay, that's just my 2 cents worth or 3 cents worth. Let me see if my colleagues have any questions for you. If not, we'll take it into committee for a decision. No? No questions, okay. We're in committee now.
Yes.
I wonder if I could.
I can start with just a couple comments. I find this is very sensitive proposal, especially that they have a few backyard that they are sort of affecting, but then the building step backs quite significantly, and they focus centering the mass in more to the front. I think that's a very sensitive move, and with regard the other variances, the FSI seem to be popped out, but I think that with the 3-story and with the first floor that mainly is in the roof space, I think that this will fit in the context. And so I'm going.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just for my part, we've got four variances in front of us, and I think number 4 can be mitigated by there's a permeable walkway.
Yeah.
And as the agent had indicated, that the driveway, we could have a condition for it to be permeable as well. That certainly will make it improve the drainage issues. I'm also quite pleased to see that the structure at the rear is set back on the second floor and the third floor, and that certainly mitigates the massing impact of homes. So I'd be quite supportive of this application. Mr. Bissonnette, any thoughts? Mr. Gogan, any thoughts?
Yeah, I find the application completely supportable. I think it fits in with the street and neighborhood. I looked at the Google Street View of the houses in the immediate proximity, and yeah, this has my support. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Gogan?
Yeah, I think the challenge is that the street that's uphill from this applicant, if I can get this right, Morningside, the houses that border this, their backyards border this, have had unobstructed views, and this will be a change. But I do find when you look at the variances being requested, they're fairly reasonable with regard to the lot, and I think that's just unfortunately the implication of a new project on this site. So.
Thank you. Would you like to?
Sure, I'll
attempt
make a motion.
Thank
I'll make a motion for this. I think I think the applicant is a thoughtful solution for the site. It is a challenging site, but I think they've done a good job of trying to manage the massing and the variances in such a way that it fits in with the neighborhood. There are forestry conditions 1 and 2 on this site because of the landscape requirement, and but I make a motion that we approve this with.
If we could add the other pieces.
Oh.
One is
There are two
With-
more conditions.
with
One
the
is
two-
the front driveway, the existing front driveway,
going to be
going to be permeable. That's
Front driveway being permeable and
And the rear.
privacy screening.
privacy screening on all levels,
all
north and
levels,
south sides.
Yes, south edges.
Thank you.
Yeah. And the rear balconies, yeah.
Exactly. Good.
As she
Thank
said.
you. It sounds great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The second,
The staff got all of that in. Wonderful, thank you. So, we've got a motion on the floor, moved by Mr. Gogan, seconded by Ms. Chan. All those in favor? Thank you. And conditions forestry 1 and 2 as well, as the other ones mentioned. Thank you. And moving on. Moving on to item number 16, it's number 22 Athletic Avenue. The purpose of the application is to alter the existing 2-story semi-detached dwelling by enclosing the existing front porch for habitable space, as well as to construct a new porch with stairs and a rear ground floor deck with stairs. We have before us 2 variances. And the committee had before it the following communication: copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans and elevations, 3 photographs of the subject property, and we have a staff report from Urban Forestry. And that's it. Okay.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we have the agent online for the item.
Thank you. Mr. Vera, are you there?
Chair, members of the committee.
Name
my
and
name is
address,
Marco
please,
Vieira.
sir. Sorry, your name and address?
Sure. My name is Marco Vieira. I'm at 257 Dunraven Drive, and I'm the agent for this application.
Thank you very much. This is another one of those very complex applications, so we thank you for it. Let me just see if we don't have anybody in opposition. It looks like a very straightforward application, enclosing a front porch. Let me see if my colleagues have any questions for you. If not, we'll take it into committee and, we'll take it into committee and render decision. Okay, who wants to take this one?
I can. Yeah,
Thank you, Mr. Bissonnette.
I'm just looking at forestry,
It's
no
only
objections.
advisory.
So, yeah. So, motion to approve the variances as requested.
Thank you. Do we have a second now? Mr. Gogan, thank you. Motion to approve, moved by Mr. Bissonnette, seconded by Mr. Gogan. All those in favor? Thank you. Mr. Vieira, you have your approval. Thank you. Okay. Moving on to item 17. Okay, item number 17 is 8 Gibson Avenue, and the purpose of the application is to alter the existing 2 1/2 story detached dwelling by constructing a rear 1-story addition, including a basement extension below, with a first level deck. A new retaining wall will be constructed in the rear yard. The committee had before it copy of plan of survey, site plan, floor plans and elevations, red line public notice received September the 9th, 2 photographs of trees on the subject property, covering letter from the agent, and a decision number affecting the subject property. We also have staff reports from Urban Forestry, correspondence in support from 2 Gibson Avenue, 4 form letters in support signed by owners and occupants of 14, 22, 23, 44 Gibson Avenue. agent, Mr. Galbraith, and nobody in opposition. Okay.
You've been unmuted.
Good morning,
Hi,
Mr.
can you hear me?
Galbraith. Name and address, please.
Sean Galbraith, 14 King Street East, Suite 1800, Toronto.
Thank you, and I apologize, it's good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm not looking at my watch. Thank you very much. Let me just see if my colleagues either have questions for you or require a presentation, because we don't have anybody in opposition. So let's see.
I would just like to call your attention to the black line or the red line that I provided. The zoning notice was correct in referencing the second floor deck, but for some reason the public notice referred to it as a first floor deck. And so this has been corrected in this list of variances.
And that's the only amendment to the application, I take it?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
Wonderful, thank you. That's straightforward, that's great. Okay. Any questions? Maybe I'll start off with a quick question. Variance number 2, the soft landscaping proposed is addition is intended. I'm trying to remember why I highlighted that. It's from required 50% down to 15. Can you just speak to that for a moment?
Sure. So the lots on Gibson are much smaller than a typical lot in the neighborhood, including the ones abutting to the north. They're about a third to maybe at most a half the size. And so the parking spaces that are provided adjacent to the lane take up a disproportional amount of space. The existing soft landscaping in the rear yard is only 9.9%. And so notwithstanding the existing condition, the applicant is seeking to increase the amount of soft landscaping percentage in the rear yard to try and do as best they can effectively.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, before I forget, I had noted when I was looking through all the documents over the weekend that there was another amendment or series of amendments, and that's variance 1, for example, talks about the rear first level deck, and that should be changed to second level deck?
Correct. The red line should address all of those. It was referred to as the first level deck in the purpose, in the first variance, and in the fourth variance.
That's right. Okay, thank you. All right. We'll take it into committee if nobody else has any questions for you.
Don't have any questions.
No questions? All
Yeah,
right.
I can start.
We'll take it into committee and render decision.
Yeah.
Okay, Ms. Chan?
I was looking at it, it seems that like I was looking at a small percentage of the soft landscaping in the rear yard. But I also noticed that there's a very restricted site, and I think that they have to try to improve it. So, and also there's almost no opportunity to increase anything in the front either. So I think that this is still a very modest request for these variances, and I don't have any problem with this application.
Thank you. I also note that there are quite a lot of support for this particular application.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Anybody else, any comments?
I find it entirely supportable.
Wonderful, thank you.
If there are no further
Okay.
comment, I'd like to move a motion for approval with the amended application and also condition urban forestry condition 2.
Perfect, thank you. Do we have a seconder? Mr. Gogan, thank you very much. Okay, so we have a motion on the floor, a move to approve by Ms. Chan, seconded by Mr. Gogan. Conditions forestry number 2, and it's an amended application. All those in favor? Thank you. Mr. Galbraith, you have your approval, sir. Thank you.
I think we have done today.
Number 17. moving on to number 18. It's
Sorry, through you,
postponed.
Mr. Chair, that's it for the morning
Well,
session.
He's on the roll, we cannot stop.
So we will, the committee will take 1 hour break and we'll resume at 2:10.
Perfect,
Okay,
thank you very much.
Everyone turn off your videos, microphones, mute your laptops.